Oops. Where am I? There I am. How are you all? Oops. I don't know what's happened here. Hopefully that's going to work. Hello and welcome. Yes, to my demonetized channel. How are you all? I'm hoping that you are well. That's right. I lost the battle. I fought YouTube and I lost. Anyway, I've been thinking about it. I was pretty upset yesterday, I have to admit. I was pretty upset. However, Katie Joy just keeps on giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. And it's bizarre. I've seen some lives today. She's really getting involved in YouTube at the moment. Really loving YouTube, and is having a great time. Not YouTube, TikTok. And is making all these friends on TikTok at the moment. And he's having a grand old time. So yes, it's Friday night, and the lights are low. I'm all dressed up with no place to go. So yeah, so we're going to look at some Katie Joy. I'm going to see if I can get the videos off my phone to see whether we can watch them, because apparently YouTube don't like it when I just do some stuff without. Apparently I need to talk on them, which I find to be really bizarre. But I've come up with another option. Oh, I've got an hour and 35 video from a TikTok today I managed to record. So that is all right. And I've got some from the other day as well. So we'll see how it goes. So we'll do the one from today. She was on somebody else's panel today, and so I've told you what to do, Harrison. You block. That's what you do, Harrison. If anyone's being rude to you on the phone, you block them. It is that simple. So here is, so Katie Joy apparently is trying to now fix what she says is the wrongs that she's done. Well, no one knows. She won't know that you're blocked. You're blocked. It's quite simple, actually. Yes. Hello, Without a Lawyer. How are you? I've actually updated my Nightbot. If you use the, let me just give you a command. This might help you. See if it works without a lawyer. Do command PayPal. So sorry, exclamation mark PayPal. And correct, thank you. Right, so if you do exclamation mark PayPal, hopefully that brings it. Yes, that works. Okay, and then exclamation mark Patreon will bring up Patreon, and exclamation mark rules brings up the rules. So there you go. Oh, I've messed that up. The PayPal. Hang on, let me just correct that. What did I do there with my PayPal? I was just I'll fix that up. Just give me a moment. Huh? Yeah, I know. I think it's this one. Is that right? I'll see whether that would. Cool, it's just saved. Hang on, I'll go grab it in a minute. Yeah, well, anyway, if you use exclamation marks rules, exclamation mark PayPal, exclamation mark Patreon, it will come up with what I need it to come up with. Just so that you know. It might be easier than having to retype and copy it and paste it or whatever. Just so it makes it easy. I just want to see whether that link works. Or if I've stuffed it up. Okay. So, yes, it does work. Okay, that link does work. I just checked it. I just put it in. Cool. Nice. Just look really long though. All right. So yeah, so that's what we need to. That's what you need to do. Rule, and then and that means sub as well. Cool. And I also have them coming through automatically as well. So there we go. I've got it so that my mods can do it. So you should be able to do it. Anyway. All right. So let's get back to this. So we've got here Chris. Last night, Fancy Maselli told Rod Blanchett that his wife Christy had been interfering in her work for years. Fancy mentioned that she had an interview scheduled with News Nation. Hi, Joe. I'm listening on my phone and watching my laptop. Too confusing. Speaking issues. Okay. All right, cool. But Christy contacted them to stop the interview. Christy sent me this screenshot and the response from the producer at News Nation back in January. Christy told them that she would never speak to the outlet if they allowed Fancy to share her thoughts about Gypsy. In response, the outlet pulled the interview with Fancy, and Christy was on the network a few days later. Christy has made threats like this to numerous people when they do not behave the way she wants. One of Gypsy's former friends, Rachel Garlick, was told to take down a post about Gypsy. When Rachel declined to do this, she was told that Christy would make Gypsy cut off contact with Rachel. Christy flouts closeness of Gypsy and uses it as a weapon for people to comply. When someone has an opposing opinion, she attempts to restrict access to Gypsy. There's a clear agenda by the Blanchards to prevent any opposing views of Gypsy's case to be allowed in the media. They only want their side of the story to push their narrative of Gypsy being justified in her crime of unaliving her mum. Nearly all of the documentaries made about Gypsy lack any opposition about her case. Oh, you're hosting a Zoom meeting. No one's turned up yet. Oh no. There was another documentary just recently that had no opposing views on it too, wasn't there? It's funny that she's calling out the fact that there was no opposing views on the Blanchard documentary. Hey? Isn't that interesting? She is always shown to be the victim of everyone. This kind of coverage is biased and has fueled a false narrative about this kind of coverage is biased and has fueled a false narrative about D.D. Blanchard, who was the victim in the case. Rod attempted to deny claims that he left the house on Friday, despite screenshots that I have state that Rob left the house. He refused to answer any questions about the possibility that Gypsy had been lying to them about her case. He acknowledged that he was not around for most of Gypsy's childhood, never sought custody, and never went to a single doctor appointment to prove that it wasn't needed. Oh, dear. Just put the woman's name there. Jeez. We're doing a psychic practice tonight. You think I know? I shouldn't laugh, short order. It's always quite amusing. Well, look, I heard somewhere today that they've signed up for that. They've offered the next season now, and there's also Katie Joy was on a live today where she was talking about the fact that Gypsy was in house arrest, but there's conflicting stories, and I always get worried when the person that everyone seems to get their information from is Katie Joy. And a friend of the Blanchards was a friend of Dee Dee's sister was on today, and you should have heard Katie Joy trying to, you know, oh, I sent her a message. She hasn't responded to my email yet. Can you make sure can you let her know that I've contacted her? Because I'd really like to speak to her. Right. A friend of a friend of Dee Dee Blanchard's reached out to me today. She wanted to express to me that Dee Dee has been completely slandered and defamed by the Blanchards and Gypsies. Sorry. The friend asserted that she knew Dee Dee from 2010 to 2015. Dee Dee and Gypsy were actively involved in the scam, and they were doing this together to get free gifts, trips, homes, and money from celebrities. The con was started to help Dee Dee provide for Gypsy because she was a single mum. Dee Dee and Christy today was well, yes, the one that she was on the stream for was quite funny. It was a bit of a comedy, but sadly people are eating up her words. But anyone that knows, and she's also flipped. She now wants to help Nick. Like Cody Brown forgets his kids' birthdays, but he still knows about his kids. I thought she might have done something on Plathville, because isn't Welcome to Plathville back? She likes following cults, remember? Anyway, so according, the con was started to help Dee Dee provide for Gypsy because she was a single mum. Dee Dee and Christy were actual friends up until her passing. According to a separate family member, Dee Dee and Gypsy travelled to Louisiana in 2014 and visited Rod and Christy. Both members of the family. Oh, and the friend asserted that Dee Dee took great lengths to ensure that Gypsy had a relationship with Rod. Text messages that were shared by the Good Wives Network between Christy and Dee Dee show that Dee Dee was constantly attempting to contact Rod so that he could speak to Gypsy. In one set of messages, Christy spoke about how Rod had failed Gypsy. According to the message, Rod abandoned Gypsy as a baby. He was a heavy drinker and drug user. Gypsy's resentment for her father was due to the fact that he made no effort to see her. Dee Dee was constantly trying to keep them in touch. Dee Dee's friend said that everyone around them knew that they were running a con. In fact, Rod and Christy were very aware of the con, the friend asserted. In 2013, Dee Dee decided she was done with the con. Her health was declining, Gypsy was getting too old, and Dee Dee could barely walk. She spent a lot of time in bed. Yes. Yes, correct. The friend said that Dee Dee absolutely never chained Gypsy to the bed, never hit Gypsy, and that the physical altercations were often Gypsy attacking her mother. Dee Dee's friend is tired of watching Gypsy and Christy drag Dee Dee through the mud. She was a con. She never hurt Gypsy. Gypsy didn't unalive her because she wanted to escape her. Gypsy wasn't controlled. She left the house, had a bus pass, and snuck out all the time. Someone says, so she's been into Reddit. How many weeks do you go from a mango to an avocado? She put the baby on a diet already, someone said. Gypsy Rose Blanchard spent 5 years as an adult pretending that she couldn't walk and faked she had leukemia in order to get free gifts and trips. Naturally, her pregnancy news has been met with skepticism by her family. According to multiple family sources, many in the family believe she's not pregnant. Despite her posts online and promises of a gender reveal on Saturday, Gypsy is having a girl, maybe if she's pregnant. So when I say the family doesn't believe that she's pregnant, it's literally family. Gypsy has a friend that is pregnant. Some of her family believe that Gypsy faked the positive pregnancy using her friend's urine. Because Gypsy's getting so many questions at home, she's relentlessly posting proof that she's pregnant. The video of Gypsy's at the doctor's office was being filmed for the show. At the appointment, they attempted an ultrasound but couldn't find anything, claiming it was too soon. According to family sources, Gypsy had faked being pregnant several other times. Gypsy claimed she was pregnant in March 2015 with Nick Gododron. She does. Oh, and Simone Biles apparently has announced that she's pregnant too, by the way. There's going to be a little baby. So there you go. So she won't be doing flips for a while, I don't think. I think the Olympics will be it for Simone for a while. Very exciting, hey? So yes, so she's doing more backflips than Simone Biles at the moment. Anyway, so she told Nick that she had a miscarriage when her feeding tube button was changed a few months later. She told Nick that she was having a baby girl. That baby's going to be very dizzy, yes. Gypsy told friends that she was pregnant when she was arrested for that baby's going to be very dizzy, yes. Baby might come out doing gymnastics. Gypsy told friends that she was pregnant when she was arrested for unaliving her mum. Gypsy told friends that she had a miscarriage due to the stress of the arrest. Gypsy faked being pregnant in April 2024. Gypsy sent text messages to friends and to Ryan that she was pregnant. Gypsy then allegedly pretended that the tests were false positives after she didn't want Ryan to be the father. This pattern of behaviour has made some of her family fully believe the pregnancy is fake. Obviously, they cannot say for sure. Gypsy is a pathological liar with a history of lingering. The issues with the pregnancy are well known to Rod and Christie. According to my sources, some family members have said that a miscarriage is likely coming soon. Gypsy has made many question her pregnancy by posting 3 pictures with fruit in the last week, which are different sizes. She blamed the error on apps. Hey, I said that right at the start. So apparently, now there are people that are saying that this is true, and there's people saying that this isn't true. So I have no idea what is true, what's not true. Just, I have not found anything to substantiate the claims either way. So I did have a look to see if I could find anything, and I haven't been able to find anything. But then I also haven't really gone out of my way to find out really hard. I need to admit that. I need to tell you all that. Yes, I haven't, tried very hard to do it. So, just bear that in mind as well. All right. Gypsy Rose Blanchard has allegedly been placed on house arrest after she was found out to have violated her parole at least 4 times. According to multiple sources, both in and out of the family, Gypsy has been placed on house arrest pending the results of an investigation. According to sources, Gypsy has been busted for communicating with inmates in prison. There were 4 separate inmates that she spoke to through her ex-husband's Securus account. When Gypsy was confronted about the communications, she allegedly threw Ryan under the bus. My sources from the family claim Gypsy allegedly Ryan. Gypsy alleged Ryan contacted the inmates. When pressed further, Gypsy allegedly claimed she was contacting the inmates for altruistic purposes to help them. Finally, she confessed to making bad decisions. It's now up to the parole officer and the team to determine what Gypsy was doing in her communications. and if any crimes were committed as a result. Additionally, she's been investigated related to a potential third-party contact with her co-defendant through her friend Fri. Oh, really? I wasn't around for that. Gypsy could not only be sent back to prison, but she could be also charged with new crimes. One of my sources alleges that the fraud she committed with her mum is still not off the table, with the profiting she's doing from her notoriety from the claim. Louisiana has laws profiting off the money. Additionally, more family members are claiming the pregnancy is a hoax. They anticipate a miscarriage to be announced soon. Oh, and get this. DD's sisters are also allegedly getting ready to sue Gypsy for defaming DD and profiting off the unaliving. Gypsy's spending is out of control and the family is allegedly on the brink of financial ruin. Check my YouTube for the full scoop. All information is alleged and no charges have yet to be filed. Now, interestingly, I did a friend of the Blatchards did come on to a stream today and say that they weren't going to sue, and it was all because for the sake of the grandfather, that if he was to pass, they may do something, but at this stage, they weren't going to do anything because they just thought he was getting, too old. They thought he just wants to die in peace. He doesn't want to have to be fighting with anybody. So we'll watch some of that. So I'm just seeing some of these. These are funny. Gypsy unleashes her boyfriend on me. What a funny video. I see. I've missed some of these because I've been. This is what happens when you work and you have a life. Look at this. This was her 5-hour live stream, wasn't it? This was her 5-hour live stream she did. Look at it. 5 hours and 5 hours. I'm not going to play that. Look at that. We're not watching that. We don't have to watch that. Well, yes, it's all spouting. But as I said, the friend of the family today said no, there was no intention of suing at this stage. But she was trying to bait them and say, well, go on. I definitely got Fight Me Luca vibes from it. Nobody. All right. Gypsy under investigation. So let's see what this bouts, and then I might just show you the bit where the family friend comes on, because the rest of it's like not much. The one from yesterday was better. So this was this is Rod Blanchett on this one, and then you've got the Good Wives Network, which is fancy. This Jackie, and this is her new best friend here. She doesn't say who this is. This is another creator. She was on with this creator today. I can't think of her name. But yes, she was on with all of these people.
It was a bad decision. She knows that. She went to court. All the evidence that you have is the same.
It's not a bad decision.
I don't know what went on between HBO and Mike Stanfield. Mike Stanfield was the attorney.
No, you do know, because that letter was addressed to both you and Christy, telling you that they concluded a USB drive to give to Mike Stanfield. It is in the letter I have from HBO. It's your letter to you and Christy.
So what's the point? It's evidence. Just knowing the fact that I've seen my daughter walk for the first time in that court. I did. When she was younger, after they started moving away towards New Orleans and everything, I didn't see her at all for many years.
Why did you never go for visitation, Rod? No.
That was her way.
She didn't have to go home with her, Rod. Why wouldn't she have just, why didn't she call the police that day? They would have come out and verified her ID.
I don't know. I can't answer that. That's
Exactly. You can't answer that. That's the problem.
I understand what y'all are saying. I understand it looks bad.
It is bad. It does not look bad. It is bad.
I only get upset when people are saying things that are untrue, in my opinion, that I know for sure is not true. Just like somebody said a while ago, Gypsy has a parole hearing. She doesn't. Okay? So, look.
And
always a time where you could be that
you
parent.
can do for Gypsy if you loved your family is take them out of the spotlight. It looks like you don't care about. Christy doesn't care about Gypsy. Look what she did to her between the marriage, and that's what we're seeing. And then we like you even less, and then we're going to continue talking. And then you're all.
Yeah, so he was on a channel this channel, and he got absolutely pulverized. Rightly or wrongly, I don't know. Hello, Anna, how are you? Welcome. So yes, I've now got a Patreon because, as I said, I'm not monetized anymore. So I'm going to probably look at doing some stuff over there. So do members only stuff over there from now on.
All getting upset.
No control of the show happening or not happening. Well, I know what it's like to be in love with somebody else. I know what it's like to be in a marriage that you just, it's not there. Okay? So it's not right. I agree. I made a mistake getting married to her mom. She made a mistake getting married to Ryan. That's the story. People want to see it. Lifetime want to pay money for it.
Thank you. So you just proved my point. Lifetime wants to pay money.
So he just said Lifetime wants to pay money for it. So they're quite happy, obviously, to take the money and run, which I don't agree with.
Money for it. End of discussion. I got nothing else to say.
You know, so this is her new best friend who she did the live with today. Well, see, the thing is, Peter, this is the stuff that has me baffled because it was so obvious to most of us. We could see straight through it. We could see what was going on. I can't do anything for 90 days, Anna. I have to appeal in another. I have to wait 90 days now before I can reapply and ask them again to look at it. But apparently it's got to do with the fact that I didn't show them how I make my videos, how I make my original content. But the fact that the majority of my videos are live, I can't really show you how I do it.
Hi friends, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Thursday, August 8th, 2024, and I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Yesterday I was not over here. I was actually over hanging out on TikTok. I'm literally just learning how to TikTok. I don't even know if that's a verb, but I'm learning how to navigate that platform and grow that audience. So if you haven't followed me on TikTok, I am over there on Without a Crystal Ball. And yesterday I was doing some lives, and in this,
She spent nearly all day there. I think you're right, Anna. I think I've had to have been getting reported for them to do it. That's okay. Look, I was pretty upset. Yesterday about it. I was pretty knocked about because I had got to nearly $200 of of AdSense, and it means I'm not going to get any of it now, which bums me. And I don't think that that's fair. But as I said, I now have got set up a Patreon. Yes, I was doing some lives, girls. You didn't get credit. Oh, the other thing that the other thing she said today, which is really important to know, is that she's talked about the fact that V is going to have a guardianship. That she's talked about how he can be manipulated again. And she's totally sided with Nick. And hello, sunshine and rain. So, yeah. So it was very bizarre to watch. Have I tried Twitter, YouTube? Yes, I have. Same thing. Yeah, I've tried it. I've look. At the end of the day, to be honest with you, does YouTube deserve my money? Probably not. They can go jump. YouTube, if you're watching, you can go jump. you can stick your monetization where the sun don't shine. And Patreon only take 8%, by the way. So, yeah, they can stick the monetization where the sun don't shine. So, and you also know this way that I am genuine and I'm not in it. I'm not just oh yes, that's right. No offense to Sunshine and Rain. Yes, I forgot about that. You also know that I'm not trying to make money off this. It'd be nice to, but I'm not the reason why I'm doing this. You know, then that I'm doing the videos because I have a great community, not because I can profit, which I think is important to know.
Very beginning clip. This is Ivy Rose Knows, and she is a content
Yes,
creator.
Ivy Rose Knows. Yes, that's right. She's on TikTok. This is her new bestie, by the way.
She is a RN, she's a nurse, and her channel is about a lot of different things. Lately, she's been covering what's been going on with Gypsy Rose. And the unique aspect of her panel is that she's a nurse, and then she has mods that are nurses, and she has people that come on that are in the healthcare field that can talk about the case. And so she and her panel had an opportunity to talk about the case a couple nights ago, and then Rod Blanchard showed up out of the blue, and he wanted to talk. He wanted to respond to the questions. He wanted to defend Gypsy Blanchard. And one of the biggest issues that's been happening online when it comes to Gypsy is not that she's released, and it's not that she's out. It's that the family is profiting off of what happened and what Gypsy did to her mother. And the family is painting a narrative of her mother that isn't actually wholly true. We're relying on the account of one child who grew up with her, named Gypsy Rose Blanchard, who has admitted to being a pathological liar with no conscience.
So there you go. But yet before, Katie Joy was defending her. She looked so much different, in prison, didn't she?
My life, yes. She taught me how to be a good liar, a very good liar without any conscience. And I'm changing that. I'm trying to be a good person now. I don't want to be like my mother, and I'm nothing like her.
Let's know. You ready? Let's do it again.
It's hard to answer. Rod was apparently sent online to defend his daughter by his wife, Christy. While Rod was on this live, he basically admitted that he didn't see Gypsy for years, that he never went to a single doctor's appointment ever for Gypsy, never once. This is a man that has a daughter that is sick, and he takes zero interest in it, zero. Instead, he claimed that he was out working, he had things he needed to do, and that's what happened. I did a little bit of digging because Rod's story and his story about his relationship with Gypsy never really made a lot of sense to me.
She had to do some digging. How she had all the time for this? This is where does all this time come from? I want all this time. I barely have time to function at the moment.
Always felt like Christy was responding and doing all of this because people were accusing her and Rod of basically neglecting Gypsy. Like, how could you allow this to happen? And so they had to put out this narrative that Rod didn't do these things, right? Like Rod didn't abandon her. And I mean, he admits that he didn't see her for years. And I wouldn't call that the father of the year. And he always makes this reference like, well, she moved out to up to New Orleans. The dude lives like less than an hour from New Orleans. It's not that hard to see your daughter. If you have a daughter that's in Louisiana, to travel an hour, it's just an excuse that he made so he didn't have to see his daughter and be involved in her life. I mean, that's just my opinion. Someone yesterday was telling me about these text messages that were exchanged between Dee Dee and Christy. These text messages were shared by the Good Wives Network, but Christy has never denied that these text messages are authentic. Are not real. She's actually confirmed they are real. And the text messages show a very different side of Dee Dee that isn't malicious, isn't cruel. In fact, it's very giving and kind and offering being very generous. But in like 2011, after she had met Dan and she was out on social media, she posted something really nasty to her dad because her dad had no relationship with her. He was too busy working. And her mom sent this long text message to Christy about this post. And I don't know what the actual post was, but she blamed it on her friend Aaliyah for writing it, which Aaliyah did not write, right? And she was posting raunchy pictures on this account as well. And she said, "We love y'all too. And when I saw the filth, I deleted that disgusting Facebook and took Gypsy's computer away. I fussed for 2 days straight."
All right.
My doctor had to increase my heart meds. I did not read everything, but what I did made me sick. Please explain to my little Mia that whatever was written was not her sister, but a mean person named Aaliyah. So they were blaming it on Aaliyah, but it was really Gypsy. She said, "Gypsy told me Aaliyah helped her like her nurse helps her. She has trouble reading and writing and can't see well, so she needs help. I called that Slayton's mom and her to come over, and Aaliyah admitted everything." And so she blamed Aaliyah for messages or a post that Gypsy made, and it was being very critical of Rod, right? And Christy responded very interestingly, and I'm just going to redo part of it, but she said, "We all love one another. We have each other's back if needed. We may be states away, but we're always thinking of y'all. And if y'all ever need us, we would get there as soon as we could. I'm sure all of this was not good for your heart. I don't want you to feel that by any way we thought it was her. I can say for myself, I thought there was no way in hell that it was her. And I know Rod told you I thought something was fishy going on. I just hope that girl knows how much trouble she can get into by law. She is lucky that you are not pressing any charges because this is a serious felony charge." But they had to explain to the kids about what happened. And he said Rod had to also explain that he was not innocent. He did make bad choices in his life by drinking and doing drugs at that point in time. And Rod really was not mad at Gyps. None of us were. We were just in awe that she.
So go, yeah. So as I said, if I was the Wilkins, I'd be very careful. This is not somebody that you want to mess with. Because if you've sent her anything, or she's gonna have it stored. And she'll use it all over her. I mean, she talked today about the fact that Gypsy's got a bigger profile, bigger audience than what she has. Fortunately, I was able to get an hour lunch over lunch today, which is very unusual. So I was able to get an hour of the TikTok.
She felt that way, but knowing all her history with her illnesses, that it was just human nature to lash out, and Rod and I understood. But as for Mia and Dylan, they were a bit confused. So Gypsy's mom and Dee Dee and Christy had a relationship for years, and Dee Dee and Christy's relationship is not tenuous or fresh or like stressed, and Dee Dee never was trying to keep Gypsy from her dad. In fact, the messages show quite the opposite. So Rod is defending his daughter, and he's like stating that what she did was a bad decision, right? Almost trying to equate it to the fact that when he was younger and he was a 17-year-old father, he got a couple of girls pregnant at the same time. He was out drinking, he was doing drugs, and he wasn't taking care of his kids. But he never grew up out of that because clearly he never made the conscious effort to be a part of her life. And now he is, but it's all about money. Like all of this is about money. And I can tell you that they're filming right now for the next season. And I can tell you that Gypsy is in pretty serious trouble. And I can also tell you some information from sources that are connected to the family, to the neighborhood. Yeah, neighbors are drawing information. So I've been able to talk to a bunch of people. A lot of people are starting to come out of the woodwork because frankly, those people like me that maintain a friendly relationship with the family are fed up with their behavior, the process.
People like her. Someone like you, well, there's nothing
their lies, and it's all hit the fan all at once. And like me, other people are starting to share their experiences, and what's happening at the Blanchard house right now is a mess. So there was a report last week that police were at their house. And on this live stream, Rod said that he had to come out and speak out against the lies because he said that he needed to share that there wasn't police at his house and he didn't leave his house, and then that there wasn't a parole hearing. And he seemed really bothered by those three things, which is interesting because his neighbor contacted me yesterday, and they don't live on the exact same street. So don't go finding your neighbors who are leaking this. But basically they said that on July 23rd, there was a big fight at the house, huge fight. Cops were called. One of the neighbors down the street heard Christy yelling, and the police showed up. At that time, Rod did leave the house.
You closed your Zoom meeting? Well, it's good that you're back. Look, I'm wondering whether that's the case. And have you noticed that she's gone to say allegedly, or this is all alleged now? Have you noticed that she's gone to say that? Because it's very interesting. What that she said that she's saying that now.
Know where Gypsy was, but Rod left the house to let things cool down, and he went and stayed at his son's house. And this has been going on numerous times. The neighbor said cops go to their house a lot. Allegedly, they go there because there's a lot of fighting. Christy and Rod fight, Christy and Gypsy fighting. They said even before Gypsy moved in, there was always a lot of fighting between Christy and Rod. It's usually, according to this neighbor, revolving around alcohol. And one of them is drunk and they drink when he's off work for his month and things get heated. But on the 23rd, things escalated and police were called because they were concerned about the welfare in the home, of the people in the home. The neighbor also said she hears Christy screaming and yelling at Gypsy constantly, hears Rod screaming, hears Gypsy screaming.
Gypsy's only been home for a very short amount of time. Don't forget that. So, I mean, I find that to be very bizarre. How bizarre. How bizarre. Ooh, baby. Until she gets the next cease and desist, I guess.
There's a lot of screaming happening, a lot of unrest, and Rod can deny that it happened, and he can deny that they're fighting, and he can deny all of it, and he can say we're not perfect. But at the end of the day, it's happening. Neighbors are seeing it. Their family members are talking about it. Extended family members are hearing about it. Like friends are talking about it. It's at a point right now where things are so toxic. And on top of that, they're filming. Okay, so they're filming.
So here's another question for you. Remember how there was that photo that was leaked allegedly of Katie's house with the garage up, and she cracked it because the neighbors were allegedly talking, but yet she's contacting or speaking to the neighbors of the Blanchards. What's the difference between that, out of interest? Why is it okay that she talks to neighbors but nobody else is allowed to talk to neighbors? Neighbors. Everybody needs good neighbors. You're right, Anna. There is no difference. There is no difference. So she knew what it was like when she thought there were people going after her house.
Show, for Gypsy's pregnancy, which, by the way, many in the family don't believe is real. I know this will come as a big surprise to some of you, that a girl that was in that video I showed you earlier, faking not being able to move her legs and faking being paralyzed, would fake a pregnancy. But this is something Gypsy's done so many times. She faked a pregnancy with Dan, the first boyfriend, faked a pregnancy with Nick twice, faked a pregnancy in April with Ryan. And now this new pregnancy, the family doesn't think is real. And they're confident that Gypsy will have a miscarriage, like a fake miscarriage soon, because she can't keep going on with the scam. Now that's their feelings. I know she went online and put a Doppler on her stomach. I know she's shared a photo of her ultrasound, but the ultrasound photos that people have seen, they claim that it doesn't have her name on it. And she's just, a lot of the things that she's been saying about the pregnancy, the timeline of the pregnancy, none of it adds up. So yes, whether or not she's pregnant is just one of the many issues that they're dealing with, because Gypsy is trying to prove them wrong that she is pregnant. So that's why she keeps posting about her pregnancy. And this pregnancy is supposed to be a part of the show for the next season. Well, in the middle of all of that,
I thought she was posting her pregnancy because of the PR company. So what is it? Oh yeah, she'll be stalked. Yeah, but she'll be stalked soon. Don't forget, we're going to have all of that soon. We're going to have Christy and the Blanchards are going after me, and we've got to have all of that yet. Yeah, PR. Yeah, see the PR. I thought, see this.
Gypsy is in big trouble with her parole officer. Now, Rod said she didn't have a parole hearing, and absolutely no one here ever mentioned that she had a parole hearing. But what I can say is that Gypsy is in trouble with her parole. And I shared with you a couple days ago that she's had a number of violations, but I spoke to someone today that said that she's basically on house arrest right now. And if you've noticed, she's always posting from her parents' house now. And that is because my source says she can't go to Ken's anymore. She can't stay at Ken's anymore because she was violating her probation by staying too many nights in a row with him. She didn't have approval to stay with him that many nights. He has those tickets and unresolved stuff going on with the court. And even if it's a minor thing to the parole officer, it's too much for them to be.
Isn't that funny? Yet she was able to spend enough time to him to get knocked up. It's really, and this is why I'm finding it really hard to understand why Christy would reach out to Ken and try and get Christy and Ken set up. If it was like, there's just so many things that aren't adding up about this story. It doesn't make, none of it makes any sense to me at all, to be fair with you.
Be comfortable, and he's not responsible for her on parole, and so she can't be at his house all the time. So she literally at this point, according to my source, can't leave. She can go and do stuff like grocery shopping apparently and post photographs with fruit, but she can't leave the house. And part of this is because
hang on. Hang on.
Minor thing to the parole officer, it's too much for them to be comfortable, and he's not responsible for her on parole, and so she can't be at his house all the time. So she literally at this point, according to my source, can't leave. She can go and do stuff like grocery shopping apparently and post photographs with fruit, but she can't leave the house.
Hang on. So hang on. According to my source, she can't leave. She can go and do grocery shopping, but she can't leave the house. How do you go do the grocery shopping if you can't leave the house? Because wouldn't don't you have to leave the house if you're allowed to go to do grocery shopping? So I'll just play that back again. Have a listen.
And he's not responsible for her on parole, and so she can't be at his house all the time. So she literally at this point, according to my source, can't leave. She can go and do stuff like grocery shopping apparently and post photographs with fruit, but she can't leave the house. And part of this is because the parole group is actually investigating her for, the parole officer is investigating her for those phone calls and that communication that she was having with those inmates. So she had to confess this to Rod and to Christy and tell them that she did this. And as you heard on that leaked live video between her and Bree, where she was saying you should just lie to the parole board, they should have to get subpoenas and look at your text messages. Well, they're investigating that. They're investigating that. And when she confessed this to Rod and to Christy, I guess then another huge fight broke out. And like, not necessarily like a huge fight, but they were upset because she did this. And in order to try to get out of it, she tried to blame Ryan and say, well, it's Ryan that was actually communicating with these inmates, not me. Because I remember I told you she was using Ryan's Securus account. Well, now she says, okay, it's not Ryan's fault. Then the next one was, I was just trying to help these people.
You think Katie told them? I mean, that's the only way she'd know, because remember, she's not supposed to be talking to Christy. So how does she know what's going on inside the house if she's not talking to Christy? It's just so many weird things. I'm just, at the moment, none of it's making sense to me.
But there was something happening in these communications that was significant enough for them to need to investigate her, place her on more restrictions. She can't go to Ken's. She's basically on house arrest while she's under investigation and while they figure out what happened and who she talked to and what all of this was. But they're investigating apparently 4 separate violations. So another one of these restrictions, we think, is that she can't go live on her social media because obviously she was live with Bree trying to get out of it, and Bree's telling her to lie to her parole officer. Okay. So Gypsy hasn't been live since July 30th, and she has only posted videos on her TikTok where she's not really talking. She posted a video of her with a book, and then she did one yesterday where she was trying to share that she was using a Doppler and she got the baby's heartbeat. But you can take that with a grain of salt. Those Dopplers are notoriously unreliable, and it's hard to know if she actually was getting a reading of a baby or just herself or one of her organs, or she was putting it on something else. Because
Wait, since when do organs have heartbeats? By the way, just out of interest. Just out of interest. Or putting it on somewhere else? What?
with a book. And then she did one yesterday where she was trying to share that she was using a Doppler and she got the baby's heartbeat. But you can take that with a grain of salt. Those Dopplers are notoriously unreliable. And it's hard to know if she actually was getting a reading of a baby or just herself or one of her organs or.
One of her organs, or
she was putting it on something else.
oh, my mind just went back to the pole vaulter. oh, gee whiz. Oh. What's she gonna put it on? Watch it grow. oh boy. Oh. Seriously? Where are you gonna put it? Oh.
Because we didn't see where she was placing it. But all of that again is because her.
Wait. We didn't see where she was placing it. oh boy.
Her family doesn't believe she's pregnant, I guess. So with that said, she's not going live and she's not posting a lot of stuff to talk. Instead, she's just trying to deflect and say she's pregnant. So in the middle of this, right? So she has these violations. She's under investigation. They're very scared right now. At least I was told that Gypsy's scared that she's going to go back to prison, that she's potentially done. Like they're going to figure it out and she's going to go back. And they're claiming that the next thing that might happen is that because she's on house arrest, because she's scared, she's going to fake a miscarriage. And she's really going to say she had a miscarriage because they don't think she's pregnant. Well, with the fact that her social media is now restricted and the fact that she's dealing with her divorce and Ryan wants half of her assets and half of all the contract money, and the fact that she hired this PR company and her lawyer to be her manager and she's going to spend $12,500 a month, the family doesn't have the money to cover this. They're not bringing in enough money to cover the fees, to cover all of the mess she's made. So they tried to sue Fancy and wasted a bunch of money. She's going through a divorce and that costs money. And then the assets are all between her and Ryan. And she's dealing with these ongoing parole issues. She hires a PR company. Like the fees, all of these costs are they're just building up so much. And so the blowout fights, a lot of them are not only about her violating her parole, but it's also that she's not spending money wisely and they don't have the money to cover this. And some of these fights between her and Christy have been about the money because they're practically bankrupt is what I was told, allegedly. And so the money isn't rolling in. She can't go live to get the money to roll in, right? She can't go live to get the money rolling in. And so
oh boy. Oh boy, here I was. I mean, there you go. You can have heartbeats in other parts of the body, apparently, now. I'm really impressed, to be fair.
she's fighting with Christy about the money. She's fighting with her dad about the money. And she's also fighting with her parents because she's entitled and lazy and she doesn't get out of bed ever. She doesn't help around the house. She's not trying to go out and get a job other than film. She's not trying to do anything other than be on social media and obsess about what people say about her and try to get rid of the lies and harass people. And
I'm looking at the woman in the mirror. Someone else does that type of
hurt people and, try to win the narrative by making her dad go live to defend her. And so that's creating fights because she's lazy, entitled, and expects everyone to just bend over for her and do whatever she wants. So on top of all of this, the violations, the money, all of it, things are getting even worse because not only could she go back to prison, but it sounds like, at least by 2 separate people I've talked to, that Gypsy's sister, one of her siblings, is planning to sue Gypsy, or is in the discussion with lawyers to sue her over the profiting and the defamation of the family in her books, on the show, and really just the profiting off the harms they caused to Dee Dee. I explained this to you last week that any one of Dee Dee's siblings who's an heir to her or her father can sue her because there's a law in Louisiana that makes
Dee Dee's father is not interested, apparently. It just hurts too much. Can you understand why she's... Well, I mean, I have sped her up only because I just can't handle her at normal speed. So there is that. But yes, it's just too much. You are correct.
city legal to profit off the notoriety of a crime. But there's also details here that are interesting because Gypsy didn't decide to just speak about herself and make accusations that affected her. She decided to make accusations against her grandfather that Dee Dee never made. So,
yeah, so this is the claims that was spoken about today, and because of these claims that are made is why the grandfather doesn't want to involve himself in any of it.
Claims that not only did her grandfather do this to her, essayed her, but also essayed her mom. And I've spoken to people that knew Dee Dee, and absolutely no one in Dee Dee's life said Dee Dee ever made that claim against her father, ever. And while I understand that she wrote about it in her book and they asked her grandfather about it, and the grandfather accused Gypsy of trying to grab him, and people assumed that that meant that he did that to her, I don't know. Gypsy lies about everything. But it's one thing to lie about yourself. It's another thing to lie about something that happened to someone else, and that person never said that, and then make that lie about that person and that person's dad did that to them. On top of that, she's the person that caused the unaliving of her mother. She's the person that contributed to the unaliving of her mother. And so this whole smear campaign she's been doing against her mother since her mother's death is completely changing the narrative of who Dee Dee was, regardless of what the truth was. I don't think anyone disagrees that teaching your child to become involved in fraud is okay. I don't think it's okay for a parent to teach their child how to shoplift or to teach their child to just sit in this chair and we'll get you a free trip or whatever, because you're teaching your child to lie and to deceive. So I don't think most people will say that's great parenting. You know, friends of Dee Dee will say that this is just what Dee Dee did because she was a single mom and she needed to take care of her daughter and she needed to find a way to make ends meet. So she turned to the con to make the money. So I don't think people are saying that it's right she did the con at all or and made Gypsy do the act. There's disputes about whether or not she had Munchausen's, and medical records don't seem to match what Gypsy has said that her mom did to her, because the medical...
You should hear some of this live from today where she talks about her son. She talks about, and then the family friend comes on and debunks a lot of what was said. I don't have all of it. I have some of it. So leaving your child with a chair and an iPad is good, apparently so.
Medical records actually say the opposite of what Gypsy said, because she does have a microdeletion and she did have chronic ear infections. She has an eye condition. She had hypoventilation that needed a CPAP. She also had hypersalivation, despite her saying she didn't. She did. It's in the medical records, and no amount of Oragel could have made that a lie. So her claim is that she had to do this to her mom because her mom was abusing her. And that's what they stand on. Rod and Christy stand on. She had no other option. But there is other options. And there's also other options where you can accept responsibility for what you did without blaming the victim. You can accept responsibility for unaliving her without not only blaming the victim, but also blaming your co-defendant that you manipulated for 2 years to do this for you as being the one that was the malignant narcissist that was controlling you. And he's the one that had evil thoughts when she actually tried to unalive her mom 2 years before she ever met Nicholas Godejohn. And she also tried to unalive her a second time before Nick helped her. So needless to say, her family, her mom's family, is not happy with her. And I talked to a source that said that she's going to get sued by one of them. I don't know who, I don't know which sister it's going to be. I don't know where it's going to be filed, but the discussion is with lawyers. I don't know if the lawsuit's been filed. I can't find a lawsuit where they live in Lafourche County, or Lafourche Parish, so I don't know if it's there. Her sister's
there's no lawsuit because it hasn't been done. And they were all trying to convince this friend of the family to get the family to sue, which I thought, you know, you can't make people do something they don't want to do. I don't know who it was. Well, actually, she does say the same. She does say that her son could be easily manipulated again.
live in various areas of Louisiana and they can really file it wherever they live. But they would need to probably file it where Gypsy lives currently. And they could also file it federally because of it's on a show that's on national television. They can also file it against the book publisher. They can file it against the television network for airing all of this. They can file it for any number of people. And frankly, if anyone deserves to have this money, it's the victim's family. It's not Gypsy. And if anyone deserves to try to help clear Dee Dee's name, it's her siblings that love her. And Dee Dee was not without fault. None of us are, but none of us, even with the fault that we have, deserve what happened to Dee Dee. And the crime scene photos prove that Dee Dee did not deserve what happened to her. I mean, one of Dee Dee's friends contacted me yesterday and said that Dee Dee her health was terrible before she died. Like barely walking, basically like shuffling. She had gout. She was dealing with the complications with her diabetes. She was having kidney stones and a heart condition that she had since childhood was becoming more and more problematic. And she was sick a lot, bedbound. They rarely went out. Almost everything was sent to them via delivery because Dee Dee couldn't go anywhere anymore. And the con was actually becoming too much for Dee Dee that she actually wanted to stop the con. She was done because she wasn't doing well medically. And
so there we go. Like, yeah, it's just going on.
Gypsy was getting older and there's only so much you can do with this to get the free stuff. And she can't make Gypsy stay young forever. So I think with Dee Dee wanting to stop the con and Gypsy being a part of it as an adult, she was a part of it from the time she was 18 till she was 23, regardless if she was groomed or not, that would expose Gypsy to criminal liability. And by the way, there are still fraud charges that could be charged against Gypsy federally for all of the fraud for all of the charities that they defrauded. So it's not just her sister that could sue her, but she could get sued.
I don't know whether they can't do I don't know if there's a statute of limitations. That's my thought.
Any of these organizations, or she could get charged federally for wire fraud, mail fraud, RICO. I don't know. Gypsy's just not out of the woods. And this was just like, if she wanted to be not known and not famous, the best thing she could have done would just have been fading off into obscurity. And then she wouldn't have had this issue. No one would hate her as much as they do. She wouldn't be having mounting legal problems and dealing with all of this crap. But she had to continue the con even after getting out of prison. She can't stop the act. It's all she wants. All she wants to do is defraud people and grift and malinger for financial gain. And it's wrong. So she's facing a potential lawsuit from Dee Dee's sister. She's dealing with a divorce. She's spending tons of money on PR. She can't be on her social media right now. She's basically on house arrest and she's under investigation for what she was doing with these inmates. And there is a very, very significant concern and very realistic consequence that she will end up incarcerated again. So that's my update on this today. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Let me know if you have something you'd like to say. If you're someone that has also been hurt by them, make sure you can feel free to reach out to me on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, or at tips@withoutacrystalball.com.
Hey, I thought she had stopped that email address. Oh, remember that was taken by people. Oh, I thought that address was not being used anymore. Ooh, that's interesting. Right. So let's go. And have a look at this here. I've got to just move this. Oh, hopefully, I'm going to have to move this to the side a little bit. Okay. So, present. So, we've got here this. This. I don't think I can speed it up either. Okay, so we've got this Ivy Rose down the side here. So we've got, I don't know, some people here. I don't know who they are. And we've got, hang on, let me just rearrange these windows here so I can still see what's going on here. Okay, so we've got, and then Katie Joy's in here. So I've only got some of this, okay? So this is the bit that I've got. I might make this full screen. All right. I've got an hour and 25 of this. So, oh, playback speed. Oh, yes, I can speed it up. All right, let's move it on.
Like, because I initially wasn't sure if the family member was telling me the truth because it sounds so far-fetched. But basically, Gypsy lied about her involvement, according to these people, about what she did. And that I think I told you this yesterday, like she told the cellie and the family, she told them that she beat her mother, like beat her.
Wow. I had a funny feeling.
And she drugged her and then beat her. And then she's actually the one that started, and then she sent Nick in. And then Nick couldn't finish and he came out and he was like he couldn't do it. And then she sent him back in to finish, and then she went and finished.
Now she's talking about the unaliving of her mother, by the way, not just something else. I was just listening to that and I'm going, that sounds rude. Gee whiz. I just thought I'd better clarify that, by the way.
Wow. Did Ivory and I said that from the autopsy photos. That's actually how we kind of met on here, was we agreed so much on those autopsy photos that some of those were done post-mortem. And wow.
Again, this is all alleged, guys.
Yeah, so she apparently told this to someone in prison, and then she also confessed this to an entire.
Yeah, the other panel members keep saying all alleged, all alleged, all alleged, all alleged. Please make sure that you understand this is all alleged. This is not fact. This is all alleged.
She confessed this to her entire family when she got out.
Oh my God.
You mean somebody Rod came up here knowing exactly who his daughter was, acting like he didn't?
Yep. Because this person told me
They were so nasty to Rod, apparently. Yeah, sure.
I'll give him that.
the autopsy isn't sealed. All you have to do is watch Nick's case. They go through the entire autopsy. It's like on day one of the trial. Yep, of Dee Dee's trial.
How come the toxicology wasn't released?
They go through everything of her wounds and all of it.
I thought the toxicology was sealed. I didn't think there was any. I can't find any.
Yeah, I don't know if that's in there, but they do go through a good portion of it.
No, I'll have to look again.
She had some stuff, wounds and stuff that had happened before.
Mm-hmm.
But basically the way that the cellie and the family made it seem was that Nick was actually the lesser of the two.
He's all alleged. Wait, she's. Oh, of course she is. Oh, yeah, she's loving it.
Who actually contributed to the demise.
I believe that.
I do too, because he says it too in that interview. He's like, she's more involved than.
Oh my God. Why can't they use that against to help him get his new trial?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything, and they're saying that they couldn't get all of it, but apparently, so it says someone says the toxicology and autopsy are sealed for Nick's upcoming court date. But I don't know. I don't know any of this, as I said, and it doesn't. No. Oops.
That against to help him get his new trial.
I mean, the family member that I spoke to made it seem like she made Nick stay out of the body.
Yeah, that's exactly what we said, isn't it, Ivy? That she was already gone when he went. Yeah. We said that from day one, that those are post-mortem wounds. Oh my gosh.
They said that Nick wasn't the one that did it on her neck.
I believe that. Oh my gosh, yeah.
They said it was.
So now Katie is alleging that it was actually Gypsy that did it, and that Nick did their final bits by the sound. That's what the allegations are now. So it would seem.
They both.
That makes sense if he stops because he can't do it now. She's pissed off because she's got to go back in there and finish it. And that was
explains the shower. It explains so much, but we could literally see in the pictures that I think I counted like 4 or 5 and started Ivy that we thought for sure were post-mortem wounds.
Oh, well, and when I was looking at it, it just like I've covered a lot of crime and it looked way too personal for Nick.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he had it in his mental capacity to do that. I mean, he couldn't even get a bus ticket, guys. He could not.
Right, so now they're going to, hello, Mama Kay. Now they're going to talk about the mental capacity. Now we're going to hear about her son. But don't talk about my son.
He said that the way that the family member made it seem is Gypsy made it seem like he was incompetent. Mm-hmm. Like she had to basically do it all.
I see that. I see his incompetence in his interrogation.
And so what the family member said was they were horrified because he's literally rotting in prison and she's the one that did it.
I believe that.
And he took the fall for her.
100%.
So the whole narrative, she's just changed the whole story and the whole narrative now.
That's so disgusting and sad. Now that I hear it, I already knew it in a way, but to hear it is sickening. You know what I mean? Like it upsets me. So
what basically the way that the family member described it with Nick is that he's so impressionable and like she is so manipulative that you can say something over and over and over again to him and convince him that this is what happened, even if it's not. Mm-hmm. And that she spent days just like drilling into his head. Wow. That this is what happened.
Yeah.
It was like everyone already knows this. I guess you already knew that Gypsy confessed to her entire family. I guess you already knew.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but 2,000 people will be listening, so not everybody knows.
Again, this is all alleged, but it makes sense. It fits into everything we've all been talking about, all the stories you guys have come up here and shared your theories. It fits.
But the interesting thing is that Dee Dee's family, her sisters have all said that she made Nick take the fall for what she did. And her sisters have all said, like, that one of her, I don't know who it was, there was a TikTok going around with a message from one of the family members that basically said, if you think Dee Dee, if you think she was hiding in the bathroom the whole time, she's lying. And if you think that Nick with an 82 IQ and, you know, have you seen that kid walk? Like, I feel sad. He is very clearly disabled.
Yes.
And I'm shocked that he was able to be Miranda'd, frankly.
Yeah, and you can see that that detective that was talking to him knew he didn't understand it. She knew.
That alone, why aren't they giving him a new trial?
All right, so when you'll see that there'll be a few people that will come in and really destroy her story, and she's not very happy. But anyway, let's keep watching.
I mean, like, hey, it's so blatant.
It makes me sick to my stomach to think about like how the justice system treats people that fall in the gray area with IQ.
Yeah.
It scares me because my son falls in that gray area. It scares me because that is the population that appears high functioning, but they're not, because they appear like they have intelligence, but they're highly manipulated. Like,
here we go.
Highly vulnerable to manipulation. And part of me feels angry at his family because he clearly didn't have services. He should have had services.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Didn't they give him a lawyer when he was first in there?
But Dave said the same thing, like he's pissed off at Stephanie. You know, he didn't do enough. Nick's mother.
Dave is annoyed at the mum.
He's angry with the mother because he feels like the mother didn't do.
Well, you know who her husband was? A convicted sex offender. The man that he was living, the man she was married to, that was living in the house with Nick.
Look, I have to give her, I have to give her her dues because she's very smart to know to do that, right? Because the rest of us covering it get demonetized for covering it, right? She's very clever like that.
Yeah, he was a convicted sex offender.
Oh God. I'm so sick. And she was a drug addict, right? She had.
Yes.
So that's why he didn't get the services, because, you know, he had nobody fighting for him. Not then, not now. And that's so sad that this kid is going. I mean, trust, he's a murderer no matter what. I mean, we know he's very sick. Everybody, so don't come for me.
He doesn't deserve to be in jail. No one's saying he doesn't deserve it.
The thing is like, had he had people monitoring him, had he had the right resources, had he had been maybe not even in like a group home, but had like a day program where he could go to and like have support and friendship, because there's lots of options for adults with disabilities that can't work, that are in that area, like that are in that gray area, that keep them active in the community without falling
through the cracks.
And he's just an example of what can happen when they fall through the cracks.
Right. She's about to talk about her son. Have a listen to this. I was shocked when I heard this.
And it's sad because it makes me feel sad for like, how can the state continue to ignore the fact that a man with an 82 IQ can deliberate? Only what? Because he said he was going to do it. The doctor literally explained hyperfixation of autism, and he was hyperfixated, and she spent 2 years getting him to hyperfixate that there was no other option.
Yeah, that's so sad. It really is sad.
Someone just said, so many people in prison like that, if they had someone in their corner, I'm a prison nurse, and it's heartbreaking. It scares me. Like my son's in that population, and my son's neuropsychologist said, like, your son is in the most vulnerable population to be exploited for criminal activity.
There you go. You heard it here. Her son is in the highest population that could be exploited for criminal activity. Wow. Did you all hear that? Do I need to replay it?
The doctor literally explained hyperfixation of autism, and he was hyperfixated, and she spent 2 years getting him to hyperfixate that there was no other option.
Yeah, that's so sad. It really is sad.
Someone just said, so many people in prison like that, if they had someone in their corner, I'm a prison nurse, and it's heartbreaking. It scares me. Like my son's in that population, and my son's neuropsychologist said, like, your son is in the most vulnerable population to be exploited for criminal activity.
You know, Lifetime picks up her story, but this is a story Lifetime picked up. That's really sad.
I know.
It's a horrible, horrible position to be in. It's a horrible story, how it all down.
How's that? She's just said that her son. How does that make you feel? Because I was shocked. I was floored. absolutely floored when I heard that.
I'll manipulate that right there. It's officer story. He get a chance to put his story out there.
Heck, someone said I think he'll get on trial, but he's like at the end. All of his appeals have been denied.
Yeah, I don't. As much as I would love to see it, I don't know.
So Katie, how do we get this information? Like, what do we do if we were going to tell everybody, all 2,200 people in these comments right now, what we need to do to get eyes and ears on this boy, since this is his last ditch effort? I don't know.
Hello, Laman. It is pretty disgusting. It is. Well, she also says some more stuff. She'll talk about the fact that he won't be living in a group home. They're going to have a guardianship over him. So, but yes, remember, you don't talk about her son. But yes, she's just stated that. That's right. And don't forget, he may actually find that one day and hear what his mother said about it.
No idea, honestly. Like,
making noise. That's
I mean, as far as like with Gypsy, the inmate told me the best thing anyone can do is to actually email the parole board, go above and beyond and ahead of everything. Like, don't contact her PO.
Right.
They said contact and email the Missouri parole board, get it to the top.
Right.
And be very clear in your email, exactly every single thing that she's doing. Give them the examples, show them the proof.
Right.
Because she's literally terrorizing people.
Yeah.
Christy is terrorizing people. What we actually need are federal charges against Christy and Gypsy.
Now, fortunately, I was on my own when I was watching this, and I was actually yelling at my phone at this point in time. I was horrified, to be fair, absolutely horrified.
%. I just said that yesterday. Me and I did, and Jackie, yeah, sure did. Yeah, then that's what needs to be done, because if not, this young man is going to rot in this prison cell while she's out here acting a fool, making money off of this kid sitting in a prison cell, and her mother is in an urn or down somebody's toilet somewhere. It's so diabolical. Like, I can't even wrap my mind around all the details that go into this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that this takes the mind of such a master manipulator who literally has nothing else that she focuses on besides herself, and she doesn't care who she hurts in getting what she wants. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting, and that she's not advocating for him. Oh, it makes me sick.
It does me too. And that's why I seem so like angry and so like passionate about it. It's really passionate.
Someone just said to me to say that again. So NPG Cornerstone is actually Nick's family's. They have a YouTube channel. And so they have all the information on who you can send letters to, how you can contact, where you can send the letters to mobilize to help him.
They tell you how to write it, how it
Yeah.
should be.
Yep. So it's NPG, like Nick's, whatever his middle name is, Paul, I think. Yep.
Well, well, there is that as well. You could argue that, couldn't you? It's pretty shocking. We're only 30 minutes in, by the way.
Nick Paul go to John Cornerstone. And frankly, I have to be honest, he doesn't like Nina. I know that Nina's advocating for him. Nick, he doesn't find her advocacy helpful.
No. I still think though she helps her, at least she tries.
I do too. I just think he doesn't understand it. Like to him, I think he probably views it as like, I can't trust you. It's right. I don't know. To him, maybe it feels like empty.
Right.
Part of it is you have to build the awareness on social media to get people like motivated to help.
And that's not discrediting Nina at all. That's not bad Nina at all. She's
really tries to. She really knows about Nick. I'll give her that.
She does. No, I know that.
Why will help us not make those mistakes.
One of these people has to be an Aussie. I can hear an Aussie accent in there, and it's pretty easy to hear. Is it a Queensland accent, do you think, people? Yeah. So hopefully you're seeing the links for the Patreon. There's 2 different Patreons you can join. One for the podcast and the normal one. Any of those will help. Will go to help the channel. I'm really hoping to get I'd like to get a little mini sound desk so that we can I can go out on the road and you want me to play it again, Sam? Hey.
I can't trust you. It's
Right.
I don't know. To me, maybe it feels like empty.
Right.
Part of it is you have to build the awareness on social media to get people like motivated to help.
And that's not discrediting Nina at all for anybody listening. That's not that's not bagging Nina at all. She's
really cares about Nick. I'll give her that.
She does. No, I know that.
Why will help us not make those mistakes. Not that they're mistakes, but our approach. If you do, right, Nick, or you reach out or something. I mean, this is all learning. Everybody, just listen.
Nina has a lot of credible stuff. Katie's not saying that.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not begging on Nina. I'm just saying like
it's the top one. This one. She's got kangaroo next to her name. Yeah, I think she is. I mean, and that's where your malice is, remember? That's you have to be able to prove malice of a public person. Talk about malice. Oh, the Linda Reynolds, Brittany Higgins stuff. All this thing over a jacket. Oh, talk about malice. She essentially admitted today that she didn't follow up with Brittany Higgins because she wasn't a counsellor. Has she just admitted to not giving Brittany Higgins the support she needed, which is why Brittany Higgins said that she wasn't feeling supported?
Nick doesn't necessarily, I think, due to his disability, understand like how this all works. And you have to remember he's been in prison since 2015, since a lot of this type of media has taken off.
I remember Nina and Gypsy have a thing back and forth. He still loves Gypsy.
Yep.
But he might take
so he's not going to like anyone that's like begging on Gypsy because he's still loyal to her. It's very sad, honestly.
Yeah, he does. He loves her.
And he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand.
Nina's doing everything for the right reason, so.
He is.
Exactly. We like Nina.
No, yeah, I'm not trying to like, I wasn't, he has a.
Yeah, well, maybe, yes, maybe Sunday afternoon. Let's do a recap stream of where we've been with this Brittany Higgins, Linda Reynolds, because it is wild. Apparently ScoMo is giving evidence on Tuesday. So anyway, or we wait till after ScoMo's given evidence because I'm sure that's going to be fun.
Video where it's like there's a picture of Bree and it's like a cartoon and there's one of Nina and there's I don't even know like one of
No,
Rachel.
Katie, the comments are like, oh, she's low key dragging on Nina. And I'm like, no, she's not. She is not that Nina at all.
Just ignore them. Just ignore them or block them. Don't engage with them because
I honestly like
Nina a lot. I follow Nina. I think everyone should go follow.
we all do.
Nina actually put out a video 2 days ago from a family source that's literally everything I knew. So I knew what she was saying was true. And I will tell you, the family only goes after people that have truth.
Right. Yeah.
They don't care about the people that are just spreading nonsense.
Right.
They only
Hi, Bo. Thank you for being my first Patreon. So that's good. I've got to add to the sticker collection too, the merch sticker collection. I think I might do one that says Russia isn't China. I think I might do some more. Yeah. I think Lama's got the rest of I think she's got the before and after bit. I've only got this middle bit, but there was enough in this. There was enough in this to have me
attention to the people that have truth.
Yeah, because
And Nina does get stuff wrong. I mean, we all do, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely. None of us know, you know what I mean, without seeing it 100%. No. It's all alleged, and again, you keep good sources, but sometimes it falls through.
oh wait, who's live? Tell me Gypsy's not live. She'll go live just to prove me wrong.
Yeah.
If Nina's live, it's
she's probably doing a live
yes,
on the other
Gypsy is on house arrest. She is.
Yeah.
So Gypsy, according to my source, they just told me she can't leave the house. She can't step out on the porch. She can only go out.
It looks like this Ivory Rose, she's got 1.1 million hearts. And I don't know how it works. But there's 1,900 people following. And I don't know what these things are, but this Ivory Rose has got 1.1 million hearts. So I don't know. I don't know how it works.
Appointments with Rod or Christy. She can only go to appointments or to the PO.
We're not going to give our sources, guys. It's someone close to the family. They both have a source. They're separate sources, but we're not going to do that. Yes.
And she can't have any visitors. So she can't see Ken. So the photos she's putting out with Ken are old.
Yeah.
She can't have visitors. I don't know if they consider, because he's supposedly the baby's father. I don't know if they consider him.
She's not allowed to see him because he's, the way the family member explained it was that he wasn't approved for her to spend time with because of his outstanding cases. He has,
Like, why would this be a problem now and not when she left Ryan? This is my. She can't. Yeah, if she couldn't see Ken now, she wouldn't have been able to see him earlier. He wouldn't have been able to allegedly knock her up, in my opinion. It doesn't make none of this is making any sense. You know, my little
like bench warrants for really non-serious issues, but you can't have a bench warrant and be hanging, like wanting to live with a guy that has a bench warrant.
Right. Exactly.
It's the same thing with Bree. It's the same thing with Bree. Bree has 5 open bench warrants. Bree should not be allowed to talk to Gypsy.
Hold on. I just got a message that says there are pics verified. Okay, let's see. It's accept. Oh, again.
So this is the thing. Yes, that's my point. That lawyer. Why is it only a problem now? Why wasn't it a problem at the start? That's my issue. That's the big issue I've got. You think the hearts are free? Oh. $18 minutes. Feels like it's been forever, right? So far, 18 minutes of an hour 25 that I got.
I think somebody's got some pictures. I just got a message request in my brother mailbox.
Katie's sources probably doing it because Katie's offline too.
Huh?
Jackie, hold the phone down, guys. I will be right back.
Well, no, I mean Katie's like paused right now, so she's probably getting that same text message.
Oh, I know, right?
Oh, Breeze, I don't know, some chick that advocates for Gypsy, I don't know.
Okay, so the photo they say of him, that's Ken kissing a guy, it's definitely not Ken.
It's on TikTok. Put your live. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I can't go live on TikTok either. I don't have enough subscribers. I'm like fighting a losing battle with everything at the moment. So the one that was speaking is the Aussie, I think. And I think she's from Queensland. It sounds like it's a Queensland accent.
Okay, so that was...
I'm saying Gypsy and them, or the person who sent the picture?
The person sent me the picture and it's definitely not Ken.
Definitely not Ken. Okay.
So I don't know.
Well, my other question is, thank you, short order. My other question is, how does she know what Ken looks like? She's not met him. How can you definitely say it's definitely not Ken?
I know, man. They're like, but trust when I say this, like Gypsy's family does not trust him.
Uh-huh.
Christy loves him, but not everyone loves him.
Okay, so that photo wasn't Ken then?
No. It's like, honestly, it's one guy that's like, there's way too much hair on his head. Ken's balding.
Can you show us the photo? Just
Yeah,
Send a messenger, send it in the messenger.
yeah, hang on. It's definitely.
Let's see. And you see, guys, if she gets information that could be wrong, she tells you that it could be wrong. So like, you just settle down in the comments. Yeah, I mean, why, if you don't trust us and you don't, you're going to question everything. I don't understand why you're here. I mean, we're trying to be as honest as we can be and share information that's coming to us and share it with you. And we've said time and time again, we don't know 100% all the time. We have very good resources who are giving us information, but I mean, she's on house arrest, isn't she? We told you that 4 or 5 days ago that she had violated, and everybody's like,
Isn't Dreamcatcher one of these people?
Yeah, I'm trying to find her to block her. I can't find her.
Don't block her.
Sounds northern. That northern. That's yeah. I reckon it's a. I reckon it's a Queensland. Sounds like a Queensland accent to me. Isn't it funny? I like going. Oh.
We're not gonna. She can watch it. Unless she says something. She can watch it.
Dream Lover, she's posting what she heard. It's okay for you guys to post what you hear. And then she just
we're not even gonna go tit for tat. I mean, if they're saying something, block them. If not, let them watch.
Yeah, I mean, they're just bringing people, more views. That's good for.
Yeah.
1.3 million, 1.1 million likes on the page today. No, Ivory's making no. What do you mean? Ivory's making money off this?
Oh, geez, Lord, I can't. Y'all not making me rich. I love you guys. I don't
I think I made like $19 on a live I did.
I assure you, I'm not making money off this.
Maybe I make 70 cents, maybe sometimes 40 on these lives. Today I can make $2.
Yeah, TikTok doesn't really pay.
Yeah, especially in Australia, I don't get paid to post a video of her.
Hang on, I got it. Apparently, the photo to me, I'm not gonna show it yet because it's a stock photo. And I was like, this is an Adobe stock photo. And they're like, yeah, but they're convinced this is Ken. And I'm like, that is not Ken. And they're like, well, apparently Ken got hit for this. And I'm like, but that's not Ken.
Ken got hit for this. Yeah. listen to us Aussies. Listen to us Aussies going, talking about the Aussie accent. Hey, it's so funny. Oh dear.
Oh, jeez.
So funny.
Oh, wow. That was wonderful. But yeah, we're not saying,
Kelly, I saw your message. Thank you.
Someone's getting something. I hear the beeping going off.
Yeah, it's me.
But no, I think that, I feel like if she is on house arrest, that's probably worse. That's like, that just.
Does anybody follow Karina Fulgari?
So here's the deal.
Sorry.
Someone in the family found a photo that's a stock photo and they are convinced it's Ken. And it's not Ken. And it literally says Adobe stock on it. And they are convinced it's Ken kissing this guy and it's not. And they slapped Ken, I guess.
Oh, did they really? Oh my god. Oh my god. Dan, check Messenger, but don't read it out. Just check it. Don't read it out though.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I'd also like to state that the Patreon also has a free tier of membership. So, just support over there. You don't have to pay to join and be a member. You can. I still think I've made it very reasonable. Yeah. So it's thank you for all of those that are joining.
If you turn, hold on, let me go back to I'll be right back.
Does me up.
And as I said earlier, YouTube can stick their memberships up where the sun don't shine and they can go jump.
The mood swings? No. Can you guys imagine the mood swings? That's some fucked up pregnancy mood swings.
No, okay, let's just not going to read it out.
Okay, let me see if I can change my picture.
Guys, can I just tell you? I just came outside and it's like really windy and like ready to start storming over here. And I got some couple was like flipping out down the block. It's so funny. Not funny, but it's funny.
No, it's not that. We're just verifying something. We can't green screen this yet because we can't verify it. That's all.
Yeah, we gotta respect that.
Like we can talk about, anybody can talk about whatever they want in here, just talking, but we can't green screen this right now because we don't know if it's verified 100%.
Well, I can show you the picture that they sent me and I can tell you
Oh,
it's
no,
not
it's not
him.
about that, Katie. No, there's another thing.
He has a new girlfriend. I hope he does though.
I'm trying to put it on mine, but it's not working.
Thank you, thank you.
Natalie asked again.
There's a big group here.
Jen, without saying about my message, did you see the message?
Yeah. I don't.
I can't. Okay, so I can't show it because it's not working. I was gonna. Whoops, hold on. I'm trying to.
But people do understand it's not a real photo, right?
So it's okay. I can't show it because it's not allowing me to add it to my green screen. But it's definitely not Ken. But this photo definitely got some people in the family kind of riled up, and someone might have hit Ken. I'm just saying.
Hello, Lulu. Someone may have hit Ken, apparently.
Someone said, "Who? Me too. It's me."
Oh, jeez. Again, this is.
She needs to be on the big box. Yeah. So, anyways, the photo, I can tell you it's an Adobe stock photo. I think a certain person in the family is just doing whatever they can because they hate who Gypsy's with. And you can deduce who that person might be. And they're digging for proof to prove that Ken is not the person he says he is. And they found this photo and apparently Ken got slapped. Allegedly. And you can connect those dots.
How many years that's about the entire family?
Oh, but let's just say that Ken is not a faithful kind of man. So, but neither is Gypsy.
Wow, hey?
No, Ken's, well, I'm sure Gypsy abuses Ken. I'm sure the whole family frankly abuses Ken. This whole family is someone asked me about my last conversation with Christy. She told me that she hit Gypsy upside the head.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think getting whooped in this family is just what they do. I think it's just normal. Because Christy talks about whooping people's asses all the time. And they wanted her to treat Gypsy more like a kid and stop and bring her over them. And so what did Christy do? She whooped her.
No, I mean, I can see the favoring thing. I can see people getting upset about that.
Yeah. The kids want nothing to do with her.
It sounds like a potato country, county country women's meetup. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of stuff not making sense.
I think it's just normal. Because Christy talks about whooping people's asses all the time. And they wanted her to treat Gypsy more like a kid and stop and bring her over them. And so what did Christy do? She whooped her.
No, I mean, I can see the favoring thing. I can see people getting upset about that.
Yeah. The kids want nothing to do with her. They want their family back. They want Gypsy out of their lives. They want their parents back. They want things back to normal.
You just admitted you didn't have any contact with her. And again, I don't believe that. But you went on and just admitted you had no contact with her and whatever. And you know what I mean? And now it's she's your priority. She stated that in an interview, Gypsy's my priority. None of the kids, man. She shouldn't be a priority.
That's right. That's what she's saying. Well, it's interesting because, oh, really? Potato County? Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
And it seemed like they did a good job with their kids and they had somewhat a normal family.
They do seem like well-rounded kids, though. I'll give them that. I will say that.
Well, here's what the neighbor told me is that the kids are
talking about family issues. If my neighbor started talking, I'd sound like a freaking whack house.
Well, so what the neighbor said.
The neighbors are talking. Remember, she didn't like it when her neighbors were talking.
People love Mia, but Mia's had a rough life because Christy's allegedly an alcoholic. And even though Rod was there for her, dude's gone for 2 to 3 months at a time. And then when he's home, he's drunk.
Oh, wow.
So just imagine your life growing up like that.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
And apparently there's allegations that, you know,
Thank you.
Chrissy hasn't always been nice to her kids.
Someone just asked me to all of my kids live with me no longer. Thank goodness. My house has gotten a little bit smaller. My adult children do have their own houses.
How old are you?
I have one.
You said you were 36 times like a million.
No, whoa.
No, that's what you said.
I said 36 4 times. 4.
So you're only 40?
I'm 40. I have 4 of my kids. My son just joined the Navy, and so he'll be going to boot camp, and so there'll be one more out of the house. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 left at home.
When did you start having kids when you were 12?
Like,
Did you-
wow.
No, I was 17 when I had kids.
17. Okay. I was gonna say you had to have had kids young.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Gets a bit weird here.
How old's your oldest?
My oldest is 25. So I gave birth to 8. I had 10 pregnancies. I gave birth to 8. My 2 oldest are not mine. I adopted them.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, 2 of my oldest. Because one of my biological and one adopted are the same age.
oh,
I love that.
you took on kids too.
Love that. I love that. Very good mama. Nobody ever has more than me, so I'm excited about it. But
How many do you have, Jen?
I have 5.
Oh, I got one.
Gone except for 1.
I've only got one kid.
I have 1 boy. Not that I don't love my daughters, because I know I just told them in flashing. I love you girls, but my baby boy's leaving me. He went and joined the Navy.
There's something about mamas and their boys. I'm telling you.
How old's your youngest?
7.
So you're able to be live. Where are your kids right now?
My kids upstairs.
It's like so quiet.
It's almost midnight in my house. They've been sleeping for a minute.
It's always quiet at her house. Her kids are so well behaved. You never hear them
Oh
ever.
God, is she quiver
I'm also
full?
locked in my office though, so you
I was
can't
gonna say, are you blanket training them? I'm just kidding. Is that why they're so quiet?
It's funny. That she's got everyone else has got all these kids and you don't hear them, and Katie's got 1 kid that you hear.
You have Katie.
One.
Just the one. How old is he?
Oh, he's 11.
Oh, that's a sugary age still.
Yeah, that's a great age. They still love you and want to cuddle. And
He's such a mama's boy. Like, and with his that's why again I get sad for Nick, because like Stephanie was saying, like he'll never mature past like a certain like 15, 16-year-old age.
yeah.
That'll be like my son, probably more like 13, 14.
Mhm.
So honestly, someone should have been a guardian to Nick. He should have had a guardian.
How come they didn't get him an attorney right off the bat? You know, I mean, they could clearly see he was slow.
Remember, they're not well off people.
A public attorney, I mean, a public defender. Like, why, when they met him, he shouldn't have been questioned. You know, like he shouldn't have been questioned without an attorney.
Sneaker wants to cuddle, yes. That's all right. It gets
No,
she's about to be corrected, so watch what happens.
They could see that he was slow.
Yeah, they can see that he was.
That alone, he should get an appeal. It just doesn't make sense to me why they haven't found a reason for this kid to get this appeal.
SSI is not an automatic qualifier for like someone said he's on SSI. That doesn't mean like people that like have injuries get SSI. So
It doesn't mean as a psychological.
yeah, like for him, yes, he got SSI, but he should have had a guardian. Like he should have been under a guardianship.
Right.
And his father wasn't around for a lot, right?
No, and now his dad's around.
I know, because I remember Dave telling me he used to go week on, week off between mom and dad.
Yeah,
But I don't know what age that was. He, you know what I mean? I didn't get into it with him.
mom passed away in 2021 from an overdose.
I feel like we should be maybe tomorrow we should all post something with his address to write him, but the governor, the address to write the governor and who had the parole board or whoever it was you said, Katie. I mean, we need to start writing letters. Everybody seems like they
Check out NPG Cornerstone on YouTube, and they have all the information.
Thank you. We got to make noise. Absolutely.
We really do, because it's just something's got to be done.
I mean, it's obvious based on the fact that his mother passed away from, I think she died from either heroin or. I think it's heroin. And then she was married to a sex offender. So he was literally living in a house with a registered sex offender.
Oh my gosh.
So what normal human, it's just a recipe for disaster. Like,
yeah,
if anything, a group home would have been better for him. And I'm so not into group homes. Like, we're going to do guardianship.
Would be the best.
Yeah. For our son, we're going to do guardianship.
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. You just heard it. They're going to do guardianship.
So he was literally living in a house with a registered sex offender.
Oh my gosh.
So what normal human, it's just a recipe for disaster. Like,
Yeah.
if anything, a group home would have been better for him. And I'm so not into group homes. Like, we're gonna do guardianship.
Would be the best.
Yeah, a little, yeah. For our son, we're gonna do guardianship.
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we'll let him like have freedom and stuff. It's not like we're gonna be like,
Right.
but he needs guidance. He needs someone to manage his care.
Yeah.
Nick never lived alone. He lived with his parents. And you know, when Gypsy talks about him, she's so disrespectful. She's like, oh, he lived with his mom and he had like a wrestling blanket on his bed. Like, Gypsy, you lived with your mom.
She dressed up like Cinderella and going into a movie theater. Yeah. I mean, what the hell? Who is she to talk about anybody? It just blows my mind. It does. It makes me sick. She just, oh God, she's so disgusting.
Yeah.
And I absolutely hate the word. She uses the R word.
Really?
Oh, that irritates me.
Me too.
I told her to stop using that word. Like, she used it when she was on the phone with me. And I was like, Gypsy, stop.
Oh my
She's like,
God.
well, my mom used that word. And I'm like, it's not even it was removed from the diagnostic, like, I don't even know, 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Under Obama. And Obama removed it from the federal, like, the 88.
It says the girl who never spent a day in school and was dressing up like a Cinderella when she was 23.
Is
Like,
this Dave Godejohn?
Yeah. Hey, Dave.
hi.
Now watch what happens here. This is Dave Godejohn. This is Nick's uncle.
Are you, Dave?
Fine.
Yeah, we're trying to make some noise, Dave. For Nick.
His dad was his guardian.
His dad was his guardian?
Yes, he is.
Oh, he is now. Okay.
Back then, too.
Oh, okay.
Why wasn't he living with him?
They took turns.
Oh.
Gotcha.
So he did have a guardianship. He should have never been able to have been questioned then.
Yeah.
Here we go. Watch.
Bobby didn't even know that he was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If Dave doesn't feel comfortable speaking, we're not going to. Yeah, that's all right. Because I know Dave is worried about saying something that might potentially hurt Nick's appeal right now, Nick's chances. So, Dave, if you just want to hang out, that's fine. I don't feel like you need to say anything or answer any questions. Like, it's completely understandable. Dave is Nick Godejohn's uncle. You can show him some love, though.
They are. They're showing you all.
Yeah, you can give him some gifts and send some diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Show Mr. Dave here some love.
Thanks,
I
Dave.
didn't do that. Dave accidentally popped out. I'm going to try and put him back in, but look at, they're giving him all the love. That's good.
Right?
Oh, she's like, dude, she's getting blown up right now. Mama.
Dave, did you accidentally do that, or do you want me to put you back? I invited you back, Dave, but you're more than welcome just to sit there. If you don't want to say anything, you're more than welcome to sit there.
I'm
Yeah,
so
no
mad
one
about.
asked
I'm
you
so
anything
mad about what Bree did.
Which well, that's why I went in her box, Katie. I went in her box to deflect so that would go me instead of Dave, because I didn't want him to say anything that could jeopardize it. That's why I jumped in the box.
Well, I mean, it's not even about.
box and like started arguing at them.
First of all, nobody's going to jeopardize anything. Like, a family member has a right to speak, but Bree had no right to bring him onto her live when she is literally advocating for Gypsy and she's doing it for Gypsy. And
That's why I went in. That's why I went in the box so that she would just stop. You know what I mean?
Right, but that's still going to end up being a violation for Gypsy.
Yeah.
Because she can't have any contact with Nick's family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the other holes that she's trying to dodge in and out.
Yeah,
Now
and she is.
That's all right. You've got trouble. Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. So, again, this is another chat that I feel like she's trying to dominate.
She has been trying to get in touch with Nick, regardless of what she says.
He's got to know something that she doesn't want him.
He does. We know he does.
She doesn't want him to tell the truth.
Yeah. I feel like he definitely has been a little bit of a cover. There's something.
I mean, if I could tell Dave anything, is like tell Nick to like tell the truth.
Yeah.
Like, literally stop covering for Gypsy. Gypsy has already confessed out here. She has literally told the public, told her family, and she has told inmates that she's the one that did it and that Nick basically couldn't finish. And so she did.
Oh my God.
He has told.
What do you think about her allegations now?
That she's the one that allegedly drugged her mom and beat her.
Oh my God.
Remember, like, it's not too hard to believe because not only did the 10 bullet pew pew happen, But there was another time that Nick said that she told him that she tried to offer. I don't know the story, what story that was.
Is that when she crushed the pills that she talks about somewhere?
Yeah.
That she took the pain pills and crushed them up and put them in something and it made her throw up. I can't remember
Yes,
where I
she
saw
told,
that. Yeah.
she told Ryan, she told Ryan, she told Christy, she told Mia, she told Dylan, she told Rod, she told cousins, she told uncles, she told aunts. She literally, Lifetime was there.
Yeah.
Did they show it?
No, and I think it was the family I heard it from too. Now that you're saying it, it's from the who I mentioned. We won't mention
And Rod, after this whole thing happened, apparently told all of them, Gypsy.
Yeah, it's bizarre. And so now she's saying, well, that's right. She still supported all of it. And now she's saying that they're all accessories of the fact. Seriously, because they all knew that Nick was innocent and they've not told them. I mean, isn't that accessory?
Isn't a victim of Munchausen's. It was all a malingering con. We're just going to go on and deal with it and move on.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave. Look at all the gifts you got, Dave. They love you today.
Send Dave love.
Yeah. Blow him up. The tiny dinies. I love those.
I love Dave.
Yeah, Dave, look at that.
Look at your numbers bouncing. Look at you, Dave.
I know. Look how fast
Our
he's
guest
going
of
up.
honor tonight is Dave.
You're just going to pass us up.
Yeah, he is.
Look at that love
Look at
code.
that. Look at that. I love that.
Yeah.
Dave knows he can just sit here and chill and he likes it here.
Look at that kitty paws and whatever that was.
Dave is Nick John's uncle.
Oh, look, he's getting so much love.
Oh, look at all that, Dave.
Dave, are you seeing this?
How many guns?
Oh, you guys have to in.
Thanks for helping, Dave. I love this so much. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, you guys are coming through for enough. Awesome.
Dave's going to have more gifts than I got like in 3 hours of.
Right?
Probably.
5 hours right now. Good for you, Dave.
He's got 3.75K of gifts.
Dave, they're saying that can you stay on live so that they can load up their cash app and pay you more? I know. Look how fast it's going.
I mean, come on, if Gypsy and her crew are going to profit off this, let's get help the actual
Let's get
victims'
Dave
families.
too.
Right?
Don't give Dave. I love it. I love it. Somebody's doing a universe. I want to see a universe in it.
Guys, thank you for that.
Oh, look, it's just going wild. I love this
I
so
know
much.
Dave appreciates that.
Oh my
Thank you guys
goodness.
so much support, bud.
Yeah, you do. This is a good place to hang out, Dave.
The best thing that you said to Rod was when you said to him, and it's burned in my brain, and you said Dee Dee was a victim, and then you said, and then you have another victim, a young man that had autism that she manipulated for 2 years.
Yeah.
And he said nothing.
Here's the universe. I know.
You got a universe, you're getting all this?
Oh, no, he didn't.
She'll say she heard it from someone else. She will. Yes, and you're right. She's an accessory too. Correct. If she knew all of this and she did nothing, she's an accessory too.
You got a
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it just went berserk there for a minute. Let me just
I
jump.
was like, look, see, I got a duck roosted on my head.
But I have like some makeup on.
One of my favorites is the corgi. I love the corgi.
The corgi with the butt shake.
Yes.
I've got one thing I want to say that is a little bit. Did you notice that Dave's got more gifts than what Rod got? Rod only got 3K. Dave's got 10. Yeah.
You guys are awesome.
All right, Dan.
Oh, somebody gave me the corgi with the butt shake.
Well, thank you, Erica.
Now, when we get off here, Dave, you know how to work that, right? How to collect these gifts?
No.
Well, Dave, I'll message you after the live and I'll tell you how to do it after the live. I'll show you how to do it.
Do you live with someone, Dave, that can help you?
I live by myself.
Okay.
Will you do it?
Yes, I
Jackie
do.
will help you.
Yeah, Jackie will help you.
Thank you, Kimberly.
He
You
loves
guys are
you.
so sweet.
So I think that the uncle doesn't. He sounds like he's got a bit of an issue as well. That's okay. Nice.
Everybody's so sweet. It's really nice. Yeah, no, I'll help him. I don't gift her. Look at that.
Look at all this love.
Yeah,
She's so getting love.
They're showing all of us some love. It's so sweet. Thank you, guys.
Meanwhile, Gypsy's like, I got 3 million likes. Oh my god.
Just hearing you act like her is like, ugh.
I'm seriously like, I hope that honestly, like if there would be a law,
Thank you, Sam.
like, I think there should be a law, a gypsy law, where because she orchestrated her crime on social media, she should never be allowed to be on social media.
Thank you, Anna, for joining the Patreon. That's very sweet of you. Isn't that funny about crimes and social media?
Makes sense.
Because
I
absolutely agree.
Marilyn?
oh, doggy butt. Got the corgi.
Yeah, they should.
I have Shiba Inu. You guys know what the Shiba Inu is? The dog?
Yeah,
The meme
I
dog?
do.
Yeah. So I got two of them. At first I thought it was a Shiba. I was all like, oh, it's a corgi.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, Ivory has been, it said that this week that she should not be able to be on the internet because that's how she, you know.
It's like online predator. And so many bills have been passed in so many states that put vulnerable adults in the same category as children for that.
Yeah.
And so they should absolutely be putting up everywhere that if
They should be like, there should be some sort of law
subscribe to you. Thanks, Gerda.
to ban her from like all social media.
Yeah.
I can't believe all these like people follow her and they're like, I noticed that when she shut down she had 9 million on her Instagram, but she hasn't even gotten to 600,000 now because she had to rebuild.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody else when they had to start up a new Facebook page because of an alleged hack. If she's gonna say she can't understand why people are following her.
But people that are on Instagram are wising up.
Yeah.
Did she buy TikTokers? You gotta wonder. I wouldn't put it past her.
No, I don't think so, but I don't know. Like, I think a lot of
people do not like her.
no, a lot of that is hate.
Thank you.
Yeah. You know,
The unfortunate thing is that hate watchers still watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
And then she makes all this money off there, but it's okay. She's gonna have to split it with Ryan, so that's a win. I hope he makes.
Claudia Dorla, please sue her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sue her. Sue her for wrong.
Now, isn't that interesting? She did a video where she said the family's contemplating suing her, but now she's saying, please do it.
Take her for everything she's worth. Sue Christie.
Lifetime, F you, man. F you.
And everyone should contact her book publisher.
Gypsy story is whatever they pay for. That's it.
Like, if someone should contact, she's got a book publisher. Like, nobody should be publishing her book. There's going to be another book filled with lies and defamation and accusations of other people. Like, here's the thing. The family is already convinced that Gypsy will end up back in prison and she will blame Christy. And she will like, it'll come out that she faked this pregnancy and she will blame Christy.
Yeah. I mean, think about that.
She will say Christy is the one that instigated it when Christy probably already found out about it after the fact and tried to cover for her because apparently in this Cajun culture, they all cover for one another and they don't want their name getting tarnished.
Yeah.
It's a weird, toxic part of their culture. They all just cover up for each other.
Jackie, you.
Someone said
Gifting too. That's what I'd see.
Oh no, I'm just recharging. Whatever gifts I get, I'm just sending them all back to Dave. That's what I'm doing.
Someone said, did you see that the deposition was requested this week? That was by some random person in Denver or in Detroit.
That's what I was wondering. I saw that and I was like, that could have been anybody. I could have
anyone. Like if I put in a freedom of information, like today, I did an FOIA for all police reports to the Blanchard's house from June until today. So if you were to poll, be like, why is Catherine Paulson requesting FOIA? Like, it's just the person who requested. It could be no.
I know, right? The whole baby thing. And now, remember, she also complained about people doing FOI requests on her. Look, someone sent Katie Joy heart puff times 22.
It could be a content creator.
Yeah, it could be anybody.
It's not anyone that's in law enforcement because it's in Michigan. Huh?
Oh, I was saying thank you for the gift. Sorry. Oh wow! So you know what? We should write a book, and we should get together and we should write a book for me.
Says Claudia's friend is here asking to be put up. Yes, the sister, the one that Katie Joy has talked about, you know, in her videos said about suing. There's a friend of the family there. You listen to what she's got to say. And
on how we think this actually transpired. That somebody needs to do something like that.
I think Katie's name needs to be cleared.
I do too. Thank you.
Yeah, and it goes to profit something else, like not our pockets, but like, you know, the foundations that she ripped off or something. It needs to go to like
why hasn't Gypsy been, why wasn't part of her crime like sentence restitution to the charities?
Exactly.
She got 3 wishes that she didn't deserve. She got a Habitat for Humanity house. They got money from Miranda
Jeannie's
Lambert.
friend wants to get in the box? Is that what they're saying?
Claudia's friend.
They say Claudia's
what's her
friend
friend's
wants
name?
on. Claudia is Gypsy's sister.
So let her on.
Let her on.
Yeah, but I don't know her name. I would if I knew her name.
Can you say something so we can
I don't know his friend the name. Just like
click on the little people next to the microphone and add yourself so that we can add you to the box.
if someone tells me her name, I'll put her straight in. But I don't know.
Claudina, right?
Claudia is her sister.
Right, but Claudinia was Dina,
Yes,
right?
Claudine.
Well, there's no
She always wanted the A at the end.
Thank you.
You guys are so sweet with all these gifts.
Right, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You've got the expert on everything Gypsy, and the expert's about to be put in her box. Watch.
But yes, we some like a group of really smart women like ourselves should pull together and write a book and give and work on clearing Dee Dee's name.
I'm really intelligent and can do laps around you.
Yeah.
I think that wouldn't she just die? That's what we should do.
Did you guys find out his person's name?
Wouldn't she just die? Oh, it took me a
No, I
second.
said, wouldn't she just die?
Oh,
you know?
oh, yeah. Could you imagine? It'll be a better seller than her telephone call written down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you can't add her. You need to add yourself. Whoever the friend is, click on the multi.
Oh, there we go. I got her. Baby girl Beth or something. Hold on. There we go.
Baby girl Beth.
All right. I added you to the box. There we go.
Is that
Hey,
her?
everyone.
Okay, here is a friend of.
Oh, just to touch on the Petrie family, they absolutely do not want to sue Gypsy at this point in time because they are afraid that she will retaliate against Daddy. He is almost 86 years old. He absolutely did not touch Gypsy. Claudia and I talk on a daily basis. They want nothing to do with her. Claudia sent me the picture of the pregnancy test along with Gypsy's phone number that's in the whole message between her and her daughter and Gypsy. And she's like, she needs to quit. They miss their sister. No matter what anyone says, they miss her. They did not get closure. They didn't get to see, they didn't even really know if it was really their sister or not. And so I'm like, well, I have crime scene photos. And she said, can you send me one? I said, I will send you the least traumatic one there is. And so I did. And she said, yeah, that's my sister. So I know that who I have on my mantle is her.
I don't think so. You had to do that.
And just so you know, she sneaks in and Claudia herself sneaks in and watches your live all the time.
Oh, thank you. Tell her I appreciate it. And again, if you guys need anything, if there's anything that I can do for you guys, please let me know.
How do you think someone is feeling knowing that somebody else's gets views from? Oh, it's funny, isn't it?
I sure will let her know. And as for Christy, her most famous line, that's all lies. Oh yeah, I can message her too because, I became friends with Claudia and Christy back in 2015, day one. And it's always all lies with Christy. I can send her a message and say, hey, so I hear, Gypsy's done this or Gypsy's, that's all lies. Yeah, right. She's the biggest liar there is out there.
Can I ask you a
Claudia
question?
Petrie is amazing. And she will tell you how it is.
Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? Why does Gypsy think she's going to be sued by them? That I have no idea. They really think she's going to be sued. I have no idea, but they've been hiding that money and trust in Christy, Rod, and Mia's name since day one when they started getting paid for all of them interviews.
Oh, wow.
I believe that.
They know you guys can sue, and they literally, you can tell Claudia, Christy said she's too stupid to do it. That's what she said. They're too stupid to sue us.
I understand that because he's so old and it's not something I want to do now, but I would definitely keep that in your back pocket.
Oh, most
I told them, I also told her she better not accuse someone that's still alive of SA if he didn't do it.
Yeah, he didn't do it. So, and this is what he explained to Claudia and Delora. He said, when little kids, they come running up to you and hands out and they put hands where they shouldn't be. He said, that's what Gypsy was doing. And I told her, no, don't do that. So that's what he was truly meaning. The three of them was in the bathtub. Claudia says, you know what? I'm going to send you a picture of this bathtub. It's too small for three people to fit in. The closet there, she said, one person can barely fit in there. So where did this happen? Because it didn't.
Yeah.
But if you notice, that's the only time Gypsy's really mentioned that.
Is that the only thing that's keeping the family from suing her? Is that they're in fear that she would retaliate at the grandfather?
Yes, it is. Now, he's old. He's almost 86. And, we know he's not going to be here forever. And the moment he passes away, guess what? It's going to happen.
So I don't think she would even, he's 86. What could she do? Really, what could she do? She's already said what she has to say. That's not like they're going to press charges or investigate him. I think I would hit it while it's hot.
Just be very careful because there's statute of limitations on these types of cases, and you can't wait forever, even if.
Oh, dear me, right?
the family deserves to have this money, and they absolutely deserve to bankrupt her. And Gypsy deserves to be in prison, and someone needs to be fighting for Dee Dee.
Yes.
Exactly. And a little tidbit of information here. Mr. Rod Blanchard, the night that him and Dee Dee got married, Claude and Claude Jr. had to go get him out of jail.
Oh, why?
Drunken incident, that sort of thing, being drunk and stupid.
Gotcha. Jeez. Poor Dee Dee.
And according to Claudia, Dee Dee did not start conning and scamming until she met Rod.
Oh. Wow.
Dee Dee was a spoiled little princess. Dee Dee, if Dee Dee didn't want to go outside and go play, she wasn't made to go outside and go play. If mommy went and laid down to take a nap, Dee Dee was going with her mama. She was a mama's girl. Dee Dee had a heart of gold. And she loved everybody.
Someone told me that it was actually Christy that planted the idea in Dee Dee's head to do the con.
Oh.
Claudia hadn't told me that, but she said it's when she met Rod, she started doing that. And you know,
Somebody needs their background. There's a
Dee
lot
Dee
of
worked together.
background.
Well, isn't Rod's dad a criminal? He's a thief. He's been arrested for burglary and robbery.
That's what I've heard. But as for Mr. Dave, we all love you. We're here for your family. And I have been in the governor's ear. I've been in parole's ear. I've been on the phone all week with him. And I'm waiting for more calls.
Is anyone from the family contacting? Is any? Petrie side contacting the parole board about Gypsy?
Claudia has not said. They want nothing to do with her, though.
Wow. I really hate to see them wait, because I'd hate for them to miss their window. And the only way you're going to hurt or get any kind of restitution from her is if you do it now, because that's what's going to hurt her. If you hit her in the pocketbook, she doesn't care about anything else in this world besides money and things. You know,
That's right. That's all she cares about.
Yep.
And Dave, he's jumped off. He can't be bothered.
I mean, I think you don't realize that you have more supporters than you do, because there's a lot of us that are figuring out, you know, what's happened here and the truth, and that, you know, Dee Dee, I don't think was this monster that Gypsy's made her out to be. And it's slowly but surely, and we're going to continue to bring this to the forefront, to people's attention, because we really believe, you know, that. Yeah, that she made. I mean, no, I'm not saying that she didn't, you know, linger and do her thing. And, you know, like her friend said, if the kids needed pizzas, she'd figure out a way to get them free pizzas or this or that. And I'm not saying she didn't scam organizations to make Gypsy happy. But I do believe that most of it was probably done with a good heart. And she was an overprotective mother. But I do believe that she was manipulated by Gypsy. And I think the abuse probably went the other way. And, you know, that Gypsy may have been obviously she thought she was going to pew her 10 times with a shotgun, and it happened to be a BB gun. You know, I mean, I just want you to know that I think your family has a lot more support.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised that Zora woman wasn't up here either.
Then you realize, and that, you know, we're here if there's anything
we can do.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I will definitely let them know. And as to mom of girls 041578, Claudia does have Dee Dee's ashes.
Good. Yeah, that's good. So I'm glad, because to think that somebody had flushed them down the toilet was horrible.
Yeah, that was horrible, and it was the wrong thing for Dad to say. But you know, it was like, well, I don't want him. You can just flush him if you want. You know, he really didn't mean seriously flush him. I mean, that would be a felony charge in its own.
Right?
Because you can't dispose of ashes in that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, as far as like with the family's participation and like, or not participating in certain stuff, is that because they don't want to be associated with Gypsy?
Yep. They don't want the limelight. They don't want to be associated with her. They love her. Claudia is actually Gypsy's godmother. And so, you know, she calls her Possum. That she does.
Mm-hmm.
That was her nickname for her. And she's like, I'm done. I'm done. I just, you know, she wants to send us these random texts, but, you know, she has not tried to come and talk to us, explain her side to us, nothing.
I can tell you something that happened. She like went out with some of the nieces or some of the girls that are like her cousins. And she got mad at them because she went out with them one night and it was great to reunite with the Petrie family, and then they turned on her and went to the tabloids. Like, that's how she thinks of people. Like,
wow.
I wouldn't even try to reconcile with her at all. Like, I think the whole Petrie family should just stay the hell away from her.
Exactly.
She's giving advice.
Sue her. Like, seriously, sue her. Someone needs to stop her and give her consequences. I told Christy they're going to sue you, and she said they're too stupid.
prove to Christy that you're not too stupid.
Right. I agree.
But I also understand wanting to let, what is his name, Claude? Have a peaceful, I mean, he's getting older, he's getting up there, and living out the rest of his life. So I also
He's got
understand.
millions of people feeling like he's a pedophile though.
Yeah, she made him out to be a
Bring it all to
pedophile.
light though, and it kind of brings it all up to, I understand that. I just understand that.
I would want to clear, if it were my daddy, I'd clear his name. And that way, when he left this earth, he knew that people didn't feel that way about him. I don't know if I could let my daddy leave this earth with the world thinking that he was a pedophile. You know what I mean? Like to put that on somebody, her mother, it's her mother, it's her grandfather, it's her this. Wayne is enough that she is not destroying somebody's life. He's an 86-year-old man. And she comes out and says something so horrific about her grandfather, who is the father of the mother that she murdered. You know, there's a lot to be done.
But then also, it's not even just that, it's to tell your mother's, to claim your mother was a victim too, when her mother never made that claim while she was alive ever.
Exactly.
It's horrible. I think I'd love to see, and not just to be ugly, but so somebody's got to stop her, or nobody's safe around her. You know what I mean? Ken's not safe. Christy and Rod aren't safe. Mia, I feel very strongly that Mia is not safe at all around her. I just have a bad feeling about Gypsy with her. But somebody has to stop this girl. She is a nightmare, and she so just.
Yes, that's right. It's very interesting how she's done it, isn't it?
To everybody that comes in contact with her. That's her grandfather. That's just my opinion. But you know, whatever you decide, obviously we support you all the way. That's just the way I feel about it. And I hate that he has to live on this earth his last years and have that hanging over him and your family. It's horrible.
Yeah,
you know?
they've made him start locking the door, because who's to say one of Gypsy's crazy supporters don't go try to hurt him?
Oh my
and I
God.
brought that up to Claudia. You need to make sure he's locking his door instead of sitting there in his chair taking a nap with the door wide open. Claudia's cousin lives next door, so she keeps an eye on him. You know, doesn't let him go around. He has
a shame that he has to change and do that because he is in fear, or y'all are in fear that honestly he could be in danger. That's super unsettling to think that this person has turned everybody's world upside down the way she has. I'm really sorry you're living through that.
Yeah, and you know, and I'm sure Katie can testify to this too. She turns everybody's world upside down.
Yes, I know. It is, isn't it? This is why I found it very, very ironic. As I said, I don't have it all, but it's not her family or her fight, but she's definitely inserted herself.
One comes in CrossFit, her and Christy both. I mean, like I said, I've talked to Christy since day one, and it all started on a post. And I happened to say, hey, you know, maybe the missing daughter done it, you know, and took off with the boyfriend. And that's how I started talking to Claudia and Christy. And, you know, Christy just like, oh, that's lies, that's lies, that's lies. But, you know, it's like, okay, you know, I know I don't believe you because, you know, I trust my own instinct on this. And then, you know, Claudia and I got really close. And, you know, like I said, it's almost a daily occurrence. I called her last night while you were on live. I'm like, hey, you need to get on and check this out. She goes, actually, I just got off there. I have to be at work at 4:45 in the morning. But yeah, she was watching.
Does Claudia ever see my stuff too?
That I don't. Don't go try to hurt him.
Oh my
and I
God.
brought that up to Claudia. You need to make sure he's locking his door instead of sitting there in his chair taking a nap with the door wide open. Claudia's cousin lives next door, so she keeps an eye on him. You know, doesn't let him go around. He has
a shame that he has to change and do that because he is in fear, or y'all are in fear that honestly he could be in danger. That's super unsettling to think that this person has turned everybody's world upside down the way she has. I'm really sorry you're living through that.
Yeah, and you know, and
All right, so I'm going to, I'm replaying it where she says she listened to my stuff too.
I'm sure Katie can testify to this too. She turns everybody's world upside down. Everyone comes in CrossFit, her and Christy both. I mean, like I said, I've talked to Christy since day one, and it all started on a post. And I happened to say, hey, you know, maybe the missing daughter done it, you know, and took off with the boyfriend. And that's how I started talking to Claudia and Christy. And, you know, Christy just like, oh, that's lies, that's lies, that's lies. But, you know, it's like, okay, you know, I know I don't believe you because, you know, I trust my own instinct on this. And then, you know, Claudia and I got really close, and, you know, like I said, it's almost a daily occurrence. I called her last night while you were on live. I'm like, hey, you need to get on and check this out. She goes,
Now, I love this line.
I just got off there. I have to be at work at 4:45 in the morning. But yeah, she was watching.
Does Claudia ever see my stuff too?
That I don't know. I'll have to ask her, Katie. I don't.
She doesn't.
I mean, it wouldn't. I'm just wondering, like, because I'm like, I don't know. I just feel bad that, like, for the longest time I was sucked into it because they are so good at the con. And like you said, they suck you in.
Yes, they do.
And then they dismantle you and they make you like unable to think clearly. And Gypsy is one of the most destructive people I've ever been in contact with. And people are like, well, then why were you friends with her? I talked to her on the phone twice. I was friends with Christy. And for the most better part of our relationship, she was in prison and we were safe from her. It was me.
But don't you just love, I just love it. It's like, well, has she seen my stuff too?
She got out, but crap hit the fan. Yeah. And it's still not safe over in that neighborhood. Actually, one of my employees lives just a few doors down from there. She can't even let her kids walk to the mailbox. Her little girl always wants to go. I mean, she's 10, 11 years old now, but she wants to go to the mailbox to check the mail. She can't let her do it because the traffic through there is horrible. And the new owners, yes, it is a mother-daughter combo. The mother's disabled. The daughter takes care of her. Yes, I know the mother's name, but I don't feel that I should put it out there. But it would flip your wig if you heard it. But she literally had to go to the city and get permission to put signs up, just to keep people out there. There is now, if a car stops in front, she can just dial 911 and be like, there's wheels on my property, and they're there.
What? Gypsy's telling everyone she's going to buy that house.
No, that house was already sold. That house was taken through probate. Habitat took it back. They sued the estate, and the record's all online. Yeah, I know. The Habitat hit it. City Utilities hit it.
Yes, I know. Wow. She could. Hello, Sally.
Habitat got the house back and they resold it.
No, I know that, but Gypsy's literally telling people she's getting
Yes, I know that because I
house back.
No, she did that.
Okay, yeah, all right. Whoa, now she's saying their son can be manipulated.
Back. She steps foot on that property and she will be poo-pooed by the current owner. And the current owner is an elderly woman.
Wow.
And she literally sits out on her front porch.
Well, that elderly woman needs to be careful because Gypsy wants that house.
What is the connection with the house, if you don't mind me asking? Why does she want it?
I don't know. She's just been obsessed with getting it. She thinks she's going to buy it. It's going to be her house. She's a sadist.
Nobody.
Oh dear. I'm sure she did. Yes, well, but that's now been debunked. Wow.
Springfield, Missouri wants her here.
Oh, this is the house they lived in?
This is the house that she lived in, but I think of what a sadist wants. They want their trophy.
Oh, it's the house that her mother died in, the house.
Yes.
Oh my
it's been
gosh.
totally remodeled. They even changed the address to it.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, it's been totally remodeled.
That's floorboard.
Oh God. Why would she want that? That's so disgusting.
Because she's a sadist.
No, she
You can
is.
replay that over and over and over again. Think
She
about it.
is the most sadistic person I've ever met.
I shouldn't laugh.
Enjoys hurting people. And when I was saying like no one is safe around her, because if you're around her, she will accuse you of things.
No,
Like,
I believe
you know how I cut her off? She accused me of I'm only talking about her because she blocked me. So now with the accusation is I just want clout. I'm just doing this for attention. I'm building my channel off of her.
She does realize how big you were before her, right? I mean,
Well, she's bigger than me, she's more important. So who am I? I'm just some peon.
Address Alicia Christopher real quick. So Rod and Christy actually came with a U-Haul and got what they wanted out of there for Gypsy. The rest of it was donated and thrown in the trash. Claudia got a picture and a moo-moo of Dee Dee's. That's it.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's so sad.
That's bad. Yeah.
I don't think Gypsy should have gotten anything out of that house. Nothing.
Why would Rod and Christy be on such a campaign to smear Dee Dee like this? It just doesn't.
Because they knew the con the whole time.
Yep.
They knew the whole time Gypsy could walk and she wasn't sick.
Well, she has a microdeletion, and
she does have a mic, but she wasn't sick with cancer and multiple sclerosis and that. And they knew that. Yes, she does have a microdeletion. That she does.
And her surgeries were needed.
Yes, they were very much needed.
But not all the major things that they were claiming. So Gypsy was a part of this. So Gypsy did know this was a con. She was doing this with Dee Dee then.
Most definite.
Yeah. There you have it.
Because Dee Dee was promising her, like, if you sit here for this appointment, we'll get a free something.
Yeah, we'll go to Disney World. We'll get that. We'll get that. And if you go back and you look at the pictures in January before Dee Dee passed away, Dee Dee, you could tell she was very sick. She looked sick. Her skin color, you could see it in her eyes in the pictures. She was sick.
You know what she had? She was on heart medication. She looked like she was in like congestive heart failure with how bloated she was.
Yes. That and gout and diabetes. And I mean, it was just all horrible.
Yeah, she was in bad shape. You could tell.
And let me tell you what, if one of my kids ever, see, I'm a mom of 3 girls. I'll be 50 this year. My oldest is 32. I had her when I was 17. My middle one's 25. I adopted her when she was 9.5. And my baby, guys, my baby is 4 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I adopted her. But my middle one, she's a special needs child. And let me tell you what, her herself, she started listening. She's like, Mom, no, that girl's lying. You can tell by the way she's acting. I'm like, okay, for someone who, you know, they wanted to diagnose her when she was younger with what used to be called MR, but now it's ID. And it's been like,
yes, wait, Dr. Joy.
the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
But no, I sit back and I look at her and I'm like, okay, so no, you know, yeah, I went to school for psychology and sociology and criminal justice and yada, yada, yada. No, they diagnosed her wrong. I said, no. I told the doctor, I said, y'all need to relook at things because she's hitting on the scale of the DSM-5 for very high functioning autism. I mean, I put this girl through college. She's graduated college twice with straight A's. She just can't retain it. This girl has autism. You need to recheck her, but they're not worried about it now with her being 25.
So just for like people in the chat, ID is intellectual disability.
Yes.
And an individual with an intellectual disability gets that diagnosis when their IQ is below 60.
Yes.
You can still have cognitive disabilities between 60 and 80.
Yep.
And then Nick is on the cutoff where he's in the gray zone.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
Because 80 is considered average.
Yes. And Ivory, I did send you a message because I kind of snuck in somebody's live earlier and I heard what they were saying. And so I sent you a message and told you what was being said.
Thank you. I will check it.
Was it Bree? Was it bro?
Yeah, her live, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now I understand why people call her bro. It's because when you try to write her name, it autocorrects to bro instead of Bree. Like,
Well,
every
she
time
sounds like a bro.
So they've been sneaking up in on your lives a lot.
I'm sure they are, and that's okay. Let them watch.
Yep, CC. That was one that I noticed because I'm like, oh, CC, you know, that's one of my nephews' stepmom's name that the grandbabies call her. And so I was looking to see if it was her, and I'm like, no, that's not her. But yeah, they've been sneaking up in your lives and reporting back to her.
That's okay. Let them report. Get all
I
the
hope that
information
I hope Christy and Rod are just like sweating and like, I hope they like get everything that they reap what they sow. Like they didn't care about Gypsy for their entire lives. They didn't give a shit about her at all. They never wanted to be in her life. They literally, Rod sits there and lies on these documentaries and said, I always pay child support. Why did Dee Dee have to take out charges against you twice? Why were you sentenced to 10 days in jail? Why is it that you were in 95 brought out on contempt and then the prosecutor in your county in 99 brought charges against you, criminal charges for non-support, but you were always paying support for your daughter?
Yeah, that's what he said, to the point of sometimes not even having enough money for groceries, were his exact words the other night.
And yet, it looks like Claudine, Dee Dee, had to come up with very crafty ways to provide for her daughter because her ex-husband was too busy.
Nightbot, but be careful. Nightbot may have to kick Nightbot out for spamming the chat. Hey, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even like successful back then. Like,
yeah,
Dee Dee wasn't lying. He was using drugs and he was drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Dave's back. We love you, Mr. Dave.
Look at those
Yes,
numbers on
this
the
is so good, Mr. Dave tonight.
Yes,
He
they
made
were very good. And I
things
just want to thank everybody for that.
Yeah, that was great. This
His
group was
comment got
great.
missed.
But again, if there's anything we can do for you guys, anything at all, don't hesitate to ask. And please come back. I appreciate you coming to talk with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, if there's anything I can do and put out on my channel, anything for the family. Like I sent Claudia a message on Facebook. It might be in her messenger request. Like, I just want to help in any way I can because I feel like Dee Dee has been completely defamed and
You know, like Claudia and I was talking, I said, I'm just the adopted sister. She said, yeah, I'm planning a trip to go see her. Don't know when I'm going to go yet. This week I'm going to be going to Branson, Missouri, just because my husband's company does a trip there every year. So I've got to go and make appearance. I'd rather not, but it is what it is. But yes, I'll definitely be back. And I'll let Claudia know that you sent her message on Facebook. She is very picky about who she talks to.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Like, if she doesn't want to speak to me, I totally understand. I just want to, if there's anything I can do to help, like, correct the narrative in any possible way. I mean, it's funny because I went back into the old groups from when the crime happened and Claudia was in those groups initially defending Gypsy. She was on Gypsy's side.
Yep. That she was. And, just like the rest of us, we may have all started out on Gypsy's side, but we learned really quick. I'm a survivor of SA. My oldest daughter is a survivor.
Yeah, so anyway, that's about it. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. She's going to try and get in on that. Oops. Let me just get this now. So did you find that as disturbing as what I thought it was? Okay, so I have just been sent a clip. I'm sorry, my head, I don't know. What's this one? Screen clipping. Okay, let's have a look at this one. I haven't seen it yet, but it's a screen clipping. Ooh. Oh yes. From Bill, obviously. So let's have a look at this. This is Bill.
Then it's Christy playing Katie. Because I don't believe that Gypsy has fucking 3 hours to waste on the phone, you know?
I know. I think I messed that. Just saw the middle of the. Just said money. I know. I think I just messed this up. Hang on. Here's the clip here.
I want to be clear that Gypsy nor I want to be clear that Gypsy nor fuck. I want to be clear that Christy nor Gypsy manipulate or dictate my feelings.
So there you go.
I want to.
So she actually posted to say that she's not manipulated, but now she's changed that narrative to say that she's being manipulated. It's interesting, isn't it? Oh, she's changed that in again. All right. Well, I'm going to head off. I think I'm done. Over and out. Correct. So, as you would have seen, I have to go in and correct some of Nightbot again. I thought I'd fixed up the notifications. I just changed them all around because I had to get rid of the membership stuff and that. So, yes, there's a Patreon now, which is really cool. Thank you for all of those that have joined. So I'm probably going to do, if you remember, there's everything from free membership to paid membership. I might do a live there once a month or something for members, but otherwise everybody else, everyone else is welcome to just stay as subscribers. Yeah, thank you, Anna. Oh, my lip is not very good. Being a musician with a bad lip is not very good. Anyway, all right. I want to thank you for joining me, and yeah, I'll catch you again. Hopefully, if not tomorrow, Sunday. And because I want to look at if you thought 7M, and if you thought the Bruce Lerman, you thought the Friendly Geordie stuff was a train wreck. Oh, this politician Linda Reynolds. I think I don't know why she didn't settle the lawsuit, but she has passed the point of no return, and the judge did everything that they could to make sure that people only. Well, that's true. Oh, here's another interesting bit. Here's another Olympic fact for you. There was a commentator that got in trouble because there was an athlete that was non-binary competing in the women's event. Was it women's shot put or something? And the commentator referred to this person as a she. And a fellow commentator says, well, actually, the person's non-binary. And to which the commentator says, well, why are they competing in a women's event? So anyway, just a little bit of a tidbit for you, something for you to think about. Because it's okay to be a woman to compete in an event, but you don't want to be called a woman. So well, that's right. And that's what the commentator said. The commentator said, well, they're in a women's event. They're in a women's event. Of course, they're going to assume that they're no. Apparently, it was non-binary, technically and biologically a woman. So there you go. I'm still not convinced about those boxes. I'm still not convinced about those yet. I'm still not sure. Oh, did you want to see what they were wearing? The weirdest thing. Won a medal, I think. Oh, and by the way, they were American, by the way. Raven Saunders. Another gender row. A BBC host uses the wrong pronouns. So don't forget, right? Shot put. So the women's shot put. You're competing in the women's shot put, right? Women's. Well, we can't see them. A comment. Raven Saunders is actually non-binary and wearing a mask there. We're quite used to seeing them with. More gender madness at the Olympics in the women's shot put. The host introduces Raven Saunders saying it's good to see her back. He's promptly corrected by his co-host saying they're actually non-binary. If they're not a woman, why are they in the women's competition? There you go. So then people are saying, well, it's because they choose not to identify as a man or woman. That's still biological female. So we're still now getting into this we're getting into this biology thing again. What are you biologically? So we get back to the boxes. So, but that commentator's been criticized for saying if they're not a woman, why are they in a women's competition? So there you go. How do you feel, America? So yeah. So I mean, what would you? Well, then you need to have another category, in my opinion. You need to have an open category so you have male, female, other, and they can be an other perfectly well, you know, or open, being an open category, and then no one's going to question you. But anyway, I just give you some food for thought and see what you thought. But boxing at the moment will not be in LA because they've said the other swimmers rejected that offer. Correct. The swimmer, yes, that's right. But I don't know how else you're going to fix the issue without having that open category. So it's a bit of a hard one. So in the shot put, they're saying the non-binary is biologically a woman, so therefore, but in the boxing, they're saying even though they've been identified as having XY chromosomes, yeah, it's confusing. It's something that's going to have to be sorted out. But then, yeah. So anyway, I don't understand, but I'm happy to. You know, I'll be. It's bizarre. Well, the boxer was biological. Maybe gender. It's an agenda that's being pushed. Unfortunately, maybe gender needs to be based on. Maybe gender needs to be based on hormone levels. Maybe I don't know, but See, they've left it to all the sporting bodies. So how do you get around that non-binary? I mean, what would you think looking at that person straight away? Would you think male or female? I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because I've got I have no idea how it's all working. Well, someone's gonna be upset. They're gonna upset some. Maybe we just need the evil witch to pull the sorceress. Well, maybe. Does that mean the handsome prince comes along, Prince Charming comes along and wakes us up? Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Andrew Gold did an interesting interview. It's called "The BB's Olympic Boxer is Another Woman." Well, it's interesting also because I've seen photos of the boxer. And dressed with a male watch and everything. So it looks like it's, as I say, it's interesting because one has said yes and one has said no. So I don't know. I'm confused. I just find it bizarre. Yeah. Well, I have an issue that if they say that there's that rhetoric that God doesn't make any mistakes, then how does that fit for those that say, well, my gender's wrong? I don't know. Some shit is true. That's true. But anyway, that's probably a whole debate for another day. But I thought that was a very interesting one. But I thought it was a joke when I heard about this mask wearing shot putter. I thought COVID mask, complicated chromosome thingy. Look, I do believe that. I mean, intersex is a bit of an anomaly, and is not complicated. Is rare and it does happen. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe they've got micro deletions. Anyway, I probably need to go now. Been online for 2.5 hours. Wow. All right. I'm going to go now. Thank you. Make sure you hit like. Please subscribe and please look out. I've got to update the description to include the Patreon and everything, but it's all there. There's free membership all the way up to paid. So whatever you can do, we'll build a community across there as well. So yeah, thank you. A micro edition, unlike the pole vaulter. Did you know that he's been offered millions of dollars to star in adult movies, by the way? He obviously has what it takes for adult movies. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.